Ho ho, we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the late night Friday night stream. It's Friday night, Saturday morning. I hope you guys are having a nice day. I just got free enough to come hang out with you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Hot Pikachu. I should say Pricey Pikachu giveaway. And then we should also say something clever. How about I don't have anything clever off the top of my head. Yeah, I'd have a list of funny titles to share. I had to work on that sometime. Let's see, like a go-to title list. Let's see, I do have a titles list. You only sneaked twice, Mr. Bond. That was pretty good. All right. Oh, well, shucks. I ain't never seen so many dang Charizards. We gotta save that one for next time a Charizard set gets released. Pricey Pikachu giveaway. Let's see. Fresh junk packs. That's true. Fresh. Let's see. Fresh junk packs and fresh raw shuffles. That's actually true. I was working on both of those things. I was also working on clearing this shelf up. I spent like an hour doing that. This shelf, and the other one. So that in the future we can have some slab sorting. All right, so... Chillin'. What's up, guys? How's it going? We are going to jump over here and click copy. And then we are going to make sure our Discord gets pinged. So under live, I can see Mr. Alex is pinged. And now we're going to go ahead and drop a link over here as well. And now we're ready to go. It says here I just got charged $15 by Microsoft. Really? For what? Standard 1 month Microsoft Live. I remember when Microsoft Live was $5. $15 you say, huh? Times 12. I pay $180 per year for just Microsoft. Wow. I mean, it's like, it's not insignificant, but it's also not that much. So it's like, you know, it's a perplexing issue. All right. They raised prices. Yeah, I'm sure they did. We're going to need more money. Thank you. All right, what we got? All these streaming services, man. It's so weird, you know, for a while people were pirating a lot of content online through like Pirate Bay. And back then you bought DVDs, you bought video games, you bought like a whole product, you know. Now it's all streaming services and subscriptions. And it's like, it's weird because it's gotten so bad and so expensive that it's almost time to put your pirate hat back on. You know, because I feel like there was this short period, no, not a short period, but I feel like the last 15 years has been pretty good for content. You get so much content, much of it free. Some of it you get as a demo with ads, you know, lots of content with ads. Now you pay a really high price for a streaming service and you have to watch ads anyways. And it's like $20 a month. They're like, yeah, if you want the super premium version with no ads, that's $40 a month. And then you find out the show you want to watch isn't even on that platform. You have to get 3 other streaming services, and it's the same deal. They're like $15 a month, or if you want the no ads version, you got to pay $30 a month, and they have a limited number of shows. And so I feel like cable television is back in a certain way. Maybe not as bad. Actually, somebody talked about cable television, and we realized how bad it was. But, you know, it's weird. The cost of enjoying content, it seems to have crept upward all over again so that these companies can have record profits. And it does make me feel like it's time to crack out that Pirate Bay hat. And I don't know how to use Pirate Bay anymore. You know, I'm sure it's probably as simple as ever. But nowadays, I probably wouldn't use it because I have stuff that the government, or not just the government, but the corporations could sue me for. So they'd be like, hey, you got caught pirating content. We're going to sue you. But back when I was a young man, pirating made plenty of sense because I had nothing to sue. Where were they going to take my torn up sandals? I didn't have any money. So I wasn't a big target for them. They wouldn't have bothered. Maybe they would have, but I don't think they would have wasted their time and money on me. All right, I'm going to get DirecTV streaming. Spectrum is still averaging $230 a month, just to be fair. Let's see. Now it's $9 for basic. They raised prices. What kind of stuff, mister? The European version of The Office, perhaps? Well, I watched that. I watched the British version, the Ricky Gervais version of The Office. Ooh. That was really good. I really enjoyed it. You know, it does have a different tone from the American version. Ricky Gervais is sort of like, man, it was a brilliant show. If you haven't watched it, in the British Office sitcom comedy TV show, it does hold a very similar plot line to the American one, where there's a love story between Pam and Jim, and also there's a sort of like a Dwight character, but not quite the same. But the story really is about the main character, the Michael Scott character, although I don't know, is that what they called him in the British version? I can't remember. But it's played by Ricky Gervais, and he has sort of like a little man complex, you know, sort of like a, what do they call that? Napoleon complex, where he's constantly talking himself up. He's constantly, you know, excusing his failures. He seems anxious and nervous to a certain degree, but he's also surprisingly very, you know, he shows off and brags a lot and pretends to have maybe like a certain level of social influence and social friends, you know, and hierarchy that he doesn't truly have. And so it makes his character extremely awkward. And it's really fun because his character is so awkward. But the show ends really brilliant. They wrap up the Jim and Pam story really well. I would say probably better than the American version. Like, it touches you a little bit when you watch it. You're like, oh, that's touching. And then they wrap up Ricky's character really well, too. He has all these friends who disrespect him, and he's constantly made fun of and all this stuff. He's just got all these problems going on. He's trying so hard to make it. And he has this thing happen right at the very end of the series, and I'm kind of spoiling it. So if you don't want to hear this, go ahead and hit the mute button. Okay, so spoilers. But right at the end, he meets this lovely woman who has a very similar sort of like energy that he does, very similar vibe. And she's like the first person to take him seriously and treat him well. And she acts like she's actually happy and excited to be around him and attracted to him. And his character swaps like that. All of a sudden, his character has a ton of self-esteem. He stands up to his friends instantly. He tells them, get lost. And then that's the end of it. There's no more series after that. It's over at that point. And it's so clever. It's so clever because it kind of speaks about how men get that sense of self-confidence from their ability to, you know, find that genuine partner or connection. And without that, before that point in your life, you're sort of this person that's sort of lost at sea. You know, you're just sort of out there trying to figure out who you are, trying to impress everybody, trying to do well. And it's almost not a very good look, you know, if you're desperately trying to find your position or trying to do well or trying to earn respect. But once you have it, you snap like that. You go right over to already being confident. And so, but it took this sort of nice woman that he met, and she just sort of matched his vibe a little bit. And that was a really big deal for him. So I thought that was really, really good writing because it's, you know, besides the fact that it's, you know, it occurs in a very believable way, it's this really, really clever understanding of human nature. And that's why it was good writing. So that's the British version of The Office. I would say it's a lot smarter than the English version. The English version isn't bad either. The Michael Scott character is, he's got a totally different problem. He has like almost autism. And it was the beginning of like the introduction of, gosh, in America, it was like the beginning of a new style of comedy where it's like awkward comedy. But Steve Carell had just finished playing the 40-year-old version, which was the movie that he had just starred in it, the 40-year-old virgin. And he sort of took that energy from that movie, that character, and he put it into The Office, and it worked really well. And as you recall, there's this critical moment in the American version of The Office where he's still kind of being beat up by Jan, but he's met Holly, and then, you know, he falls in love with Holly, and you have this massive character development for him. So they actually do follow the British version of the story somewhat. I found the American version to be a little too autistic. Oh, it has a lot of great moments, and the Pam and Jim are so cute together. It's neither show's worth skipping. Don't skip either of them. Yeah, I declare bankruptcy. Speaking of declaring bankruptcy, are you guys ready to look at some cards? So we have this pack split going on. Let's talk a little bit about the breaks. That was a great intro to tonight's show. We're just talking about a fun TV show. Here we are. Haha. So take a look at that. 4 people in this pack split. We need 6 more people. That's the Ancient Origin pack split. Ancient Origins, cheap and affordable. Excuse me, I got like hiccups, man. All right. Also, this Cloud, he looks like he's up to 12, but he's actually up to 13. Wow. We saw this Cloud in like 3 days go from 4 spots to 13 spots. He has the momentum. This is the fastest moving break. I don't know who wants in, but he could finish tonight. It's a $40 break. Your odds are low. It's 1 in 20, baby. You got 1 in 20 odds for this one. So your odds of actually pulling this Cloud are bleak. But somebody's pulling him for 40 bucks, and he's probably worth about 800 bucks. So boy, is it exciting if you're the one who pulls it. And somebody will pull it. So that's the fun of the breaks. Yes, they are risky. Yes, a lot of people are going to lose $40, but they are fun because somebody does pull it. It's an interesting way to pull an already graded 10. I like hosting the breaks. I'm very proud of them, in fact. All right, what is this? What is this? Here's some. Okay, actually, we do have a couple slabs to price. Good. Good. I wasn't sure if we had anything to work on. Bye. It's a vertical stream. Is there a way to watch this in widescreen? Did I screenshot? So in the daytime stream today, we were in vertical mode, and we picked up 19 subscribers from that one live stream. And it wasn't even a long live stream. It was kind of short. It was a short live stream. 19 subscribers. And then the night before, yesterday night, was a Thursday night, Friday morning stream. And you guys got to see, because I actually screenshotted it for you guys. Let me go over here into the Discord server. We're going over to the announcements channel. This was yesterday night. Check this out. 6,500 viewers and 32 subscribers. 32. There you go. That's pretty good. 6.5 and 32. That's pretty good. Wow. So that is why you are seeing a lot of vertical streams, because we are actually getting a lot of views this way. 100K in about, exactly. We are going to, at that rate, we are seeing that 100K. There is no question in my mind. We are going to hit it. That 100K is on the horizon. Okay, wow. This card's really old, likely from 2022. Ooh, I like that Cloud card. This Cloud card is almost ready to go off. 7 spots left. He's one of the fastest moving breaks. He's not sort of the fastest moving break. He is the fastest moving break. Okay, I like this Pikachu, but he is a 9. Plus, you could flatten out that bump at the top. Even if you could flatten it out, the centering on the back's not that good. He's a 9. He's a 9. 9, 10, a big fat hen. Here we go. All right. And let me put this over here. I did some cleaning, man. These shelves got cleaned up. Now, as you guys know, we're giving out this $400 Pikachu, vintage Pikachu poker card. Here it is. The Ace of Diamonds Pikachu. Beautiful. Look at that, everybody. So that is being handed out. All you have to do to get into this giveaway is be here, be a subscriber, and type in TCC into the chat, okay? And also, let me set that up because I need to do that right now. All right, there it is. So we have our $400 card ready to go. And this guy, he is in fact a 9. Do not bet on this regrading into a 10, but he is a nice 9. Let's find out what he goes for. Okay. So let's see what we got going on here. Welcome, guys. We started at 1:30 a.m. I'm supposed to start at 1 a.m. Oops. I typed in Pikachu. You know, it's pretty hard for me to start on time on a Friday night because Karis tends to stay up because she doesn't have work in the morning. So she tends to stay up pretty late on Fridays. Okay, what do we have? Oh, yeah. Lovely Pikachu, 165. Lovely. Okay, and Who's this? All right. This card is marked expired. Hey, you can see it also has a really old code on it. Look, 6/8 for the cert. Pretty old. Oops. All right. Good. We are going to put this guy down for, he's a 5. Let's put him down for 13 bucks. I think I remember this order. I was having John sort through some cards to be sent off to PSA, and I said, just pick out the good ones. And it went extremely poorly. Which made me think he either didn't work very hard on it or didn't understand it very well, or I'm very good at picking out cards that will grade well. All right, but then again, those cards weren't super easy to understand. So give me a second. Let's see if this is actually expired. It might not be. $13 for a cute Diglett? I know, it's so good. This is not expired. That's why we check every single one of these. It's almost expired. It's expired in 2 months. But it's not expired. All right. And what do we have here? Whoa. Wow, that one's really good. He's an unlimited card, though, huh? That's definitely a 9. Oh, weird. It says free on it. Huh, look at that. It says free on the front. So I think this was a giveaway. And it was scheduled to go to a guy named Shockwave. And I marked it 4/24 as the age of it. Now, if it has that date on it, it means we've checked to see if this was expired before. And it says that when I looked it up, it was going to expire in 4/20. We gave him a lot of time. I mean, here's my bet. This is not a name. That's some sort of nickname. And so I'm betting that's a YouTube channel name, and he never claimed the card. That's my bet. Very interesting. Back then, this Raichu probably would have been worth, I don't know, $25 to $50. Not too much. That was in 2024. Now it's 2025. Let's find out what he's worth now. Give it to Soundwave. Yeah, we'll give it to Soundwave. My bet is he did not care that much about it because it was only like 25 to 40 bucks. Again, this was in 2024. Oops, I typed in Taigu. Raichu. Number 14. Wow. $140 now. Wow. What shall become of this Raichu? It says 140. This shall go into the live customs then. Live customs need some stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's a very nice card. Nice vintage card. Let's get him in the live customs. You know, if he was a 10, he probably wouldn't fit in the live customs. Raichu 9, number 14. All right. Easy double. Oh, he should have taken it home. He disrespected. Okay, ready? So, well, I remember how we do this. Always the Korean Pokemon. You know why? Because they're very uniform, so no one can really predict anything. We do that on purpose with the live customs, see? So they all look the same. And we put them in backwards, so you can't see it. All you know is that there's an item in here with 7 spots, and it's a Raichu. That's all you know. Yeah, so we do that on purpose, so we can load these up and not make it too easy to know when the Raichu's coming. People are real crazy. They'll like document cards in order to get their pull. Okay, good. That's right. Okay. You have to be very secretive with the live customs so that people don't try to gain an advantage. Or that they don't manage to. Oh, why is my left arm so bad? I have a really bad left arm that hurts to lift above my head now. Why does it do that? Throwing that away. Cool, man. All right, so let's see if we got any orders in tonight. We have our good friend, Mr. Zach. Hello, Mr. Zach. How are you? 10 Journey Togethers. All right, 10 Journey Togethers. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, lovely. Tonight's the night, guys. Let's start sneeping. I wouldn't mind spending tonight doing some cleaning, actually, you know? Feels like it's kind of a calm before the storm moment. And I was cleaning up the shelf to my left. It looks so good now. You want to see it? Check this out. Check this out. All right, you ready? Look at that. Nice, dude. It's so organized. Isn't that lovely? It looks so much better that way. So I was cleaning over there. I'm ready to do some cleaning around the table. That'd be nice. My pinched nerve went away in 2 weeks. You see a doctor for that? They have a fantastic cream for it. I did not see a doctor for it. Maybe I should. Organized. All right. Snipping this. Snipping this. Oh. Wait, put it there. There we go. I'm acting like we're in horizontal mode. Putting it all the way on the left. No, we're in vertical mode. We got Nimble, Tyranitar. Oh, by the way, I've still got this here, CS Man. I think you asked me to put this in slab away, and I believe what you're wanting me to do is use your store credit for that, right? Is that what it was? Go. Ah, what a pull. Wow, right off the bat, a beautiful altarization. We just got started, guys. So nice. Look at that, everybody. Ooh. Stop vertical, horizontal mode, OP. Insane day last night. We are. You had an insane day. So nice. Hopsization. All right. Here's Snorlax. And Farticuno. Look at that Farticuno. He's such a good card. So you're doing good. You got Zacian, you got Articuno, a Selgor. I already used my store credit. Ah, I see. You're right. Yes. Here we are. I'll think about that rocket thing. Ah, I got you. Okay. Here is Salimence. Here is Patis. Here is Voltorb. And here is the Zoroark. Look at that Zoroark. Very good. You ready for the Pokepocalypse? Pokies to the moon! The bubble's gonna pop any second. Quick, sell all your cards to me. People were watching my video on the Koro Mew, and they were talking about how I should sell it and secure profits. That's what they're saying. You better secure profits. I already did. I secured profits when I bought the Mew. That is the secured profits. Why would I want cash when I could have Mew? We are. That's why the Mew went up in prices, because it's better than cash. So people said, I don't want my cash, I want the Mew. All right, but you know, he might go down in price again, but that just means you buy another one. That's the trick. That's why I have 3 of the legendary Charizards, not one of them. Ooh, lovely. All right, so here's Mr. Zach's bag. You can donate me $40,000. I kind of want it. Can you donate me $40,000? I don't know about donation. If you were like a Cat Girl Scientific Research Foundation, maybe. And that's a maybe. That's not a guaranteed yes. This. All right, the Zacian. When free, can I see the back of the little Diglett? Yeah, you can see it. Give me this little side loader here. Why not? Okay. I like. There we go. Okay, lovely. We got 62 viewers and 17 likes. Smash that like button for real fast, guys. Let's get those likes up. I like the likes to be about half the viewers. I like it to be about half the viewers. So this is only $13. Here's the back of the card. Looks pretty cute. I don't know how it graded 5. There must be like a bump or something on it. Yeah, it looks like there's like a crease down here, like it got clamped or something. Hardly noticeable. The card otherwise looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. All right, I'll get started on that immediately. Full profit. Oh yeah. So 10 journeys. I'm starting a cloning facility. That's what I want to do. I want to start a cloning facility. TCC's cloning facility. That'd be so cool. Who wants to go in that Pikachu? If you want to, type in TCC into the live chat. Into the live chat. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, let me grab this box over here. Anything left in here that I have not looked at? Yes. Yes. Okay, last two slabs. This one and and this one. Okay, so those are the last two items in my box tonight. This card is gone. Okay, we've got Yuzuki Zero, and Regidrago V-Star. Ooh, good. All right. You know, Upside Down Stream can increase your viewership and neck pain. Any Starmies? Says Simon Craggs. I might have a Starmie. Would you be interested in a Tops Starmie? I think I have a Tops Starmie. That's a really rare request. People don't ask for Starmie very often. Let me go looking for a Tops Starmie for you, okay? I believe I have one behind me. Oh, listen to this music, man. I'm getting all electronica right now. Speaking of electronica, I took a minute and I listened to some of the tracks on the new Nine Inch Nails soundtrack for the Tron movie. Some of it's not bad. It's not what you expected. It's some of it's kind of like Nine Inch Nails, but not all of it. Some of it's very weird. You're like, wow, he wrote this? Some of it's cinematic. Some of it sounds very much like nerdy computer music. Some of it's kind of like melodramatic serenade kind of music. So it was kind of surprising. I can guess the story of Tron Ares. I can guess it probably with high accuracy. The new Tron movie clearly is going to be about sentience. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be sentience. There's going to be, what is this? There's going to be some, you know, software. And oh, look at that. There's going to be some piece of software. And he's going to become sentient. The end. That's nice, isn't it? Beautiful, huh? I cannot find a Starmie. I know I have one somewhere. It's a Topps card. I don't know where I'm storing it. It's in one of these boxes. I'm so sorry that I don't know where it's at. I didn't mean to get you hyped if you were hoping for it. I might still be here. I just don't know which box it is in. It's in one of these boxes. Do I have top slabs in here? How about in here? Whoa, this music's getting me all hyped. We must fight the user. Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you. What does a Shining Mew 1 go for? Says, we bought it a long time ago from Team Rocky, not a long time ago, recently, from Team Rocky Grunt for $290. Now, I am getting $550 on it. I don't know if that's right. Let me double check. No, here's one for $365. So yes, it has gone up, but not to skyrocketing levels. Actually, there is a big jump between the $365 one and the one right after it of $553. But then again, this one's located in freaking Japan, so you have to pay a major fee on it. Also, this one's beat up so bad. And then what's this one look like? This one graded, oh yeah. Yeah, that's a 1. There's no doubt about it. That is, in fact, a 1. I don't think now's the time to sell this. I believe it will jump to 500, and that will be the better timing. Which one is better in your opinion, chat and Mr. First edition Beat of Frontier or unlimited Beat of Frontier? What? Frontier. What is he talking about, guys? So here's this character with a towel on. Now, if you guys remember what this came from WeCross. This was a WeCross. And what was going on here, this was a special promo pack. That's an actual towel. If you touch it, it's fuzzy. So this is cardboard, but the towel is fuzzy. Not just that, but it was perfumed. So you'd open the pack up and it had like a perfumey smell. It was so strange. And we sold out of this product pretty fast afterwards. WeCross. I didn't restock it because sometimes you stop restocking something because you don't want it to become stale. But yeah, so weird. Lost storage. Weird. All right, so maybe 15 bucks on that. Maybe 10 bucks on this. Okay, we're just getting rid of these two items. Does it still smell? It most definitely probably does because it's trapped inside of this thing. So if there was still smell particles, they're not leaking out of the slab most likely. So yes, if you were to crack it out of there, it probably still smells. Probably still has the perfume smell. Very fascinating. All right, so let's see. I bought the Duck Trio from the $15 one. Beatrice, can I get the Diglett? Yes. Yes, you can. All right. All right, very nice. Ta-da! Yeah, be careful with your wording there. Very good. Hey, how's it going, Beatrice? All right, so there's no orders in the queue. Oh, look what I found. I found this. So I found basically a box of, and I took it out of the box. I found a box of the Obsidian Flame Korean, which I thought we were sold out of, but this appears to be the last box of it. Very good. What were we selling that at? Does anyone remember? So we still have about one box worth of this. I think it's close to 30 packs. It might be 30 packs. I don't know. I think we're selling that for like $3. Was it $3? Let me go take a look over here. Under Poke Korean, Blue Sky Stream is $3. Matchless Fighters is $2. I'll take the towel waifu with my store credit. Oh, you got it. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? It is towel waifu. So 39 minus 15 is 24. There it goes. How much is the Pikachu to the left? Oh, he's not showing up in the video. Here he is. 165. Funny how just a little bit of tilting it doesn't fit. Here we go. So we got to try and get you out a priority mailbox of slabs. You ready for me to just ship you a ton of your best stuff? You think that'll work? You a little nervous about it? I can try to declare it a little lower, see if it sneaks through, or we can like very precisely declare everything at the top amount. I like to see if it can just get through because you've never been in trouble. They've never opened your package and yelled at you before. So, you know, if they've never done that, I say we keep trying to get it through. I miss seeing 5 items and zooming. I'm so sorry, man. We do have 3 items. I know. I missed the 5 items as well. Maybe one day we will have 6 items because there will be a row up here. But I don't have a shelf for that yet. But maybe I will soon. I wouldn't mind having 6 items. I think if we had 6 items in view, you guys would be pretty okay with vertical at that point. I mean, that's actually more than 5. You get a bigger view. If we could fit 5 up here, you know, you get a bigger view, not a smaller view. 6 items incoming. I know. I got to find a new setup. And I don't know how that will look. To like, maybe I need like a hacksaw, some tiny plastic shelves. I need to go like Hobby Lobby or something, you know, because it's weird trying to get a perfect setup. It really is. You can like 3. I've thought of that as well. He's talking about doing this, but look at how that looks. That doesn't look good, does it? Nah, no way. That won't work. Where is the order queue? The order queue. Are you asking how to place an order? Turn that down. So the menu's in the description. You need to go to the upper corner of the screen and expand the description. I'll type that right here. Here it is. Menu in description. Boom. All right. So it's a Friday night, and we ran into these guys, and I don't remember what I was selling them at. Nobody mentioned what I was selling them at. I guess I'll put them back on the menu for $2 a piece, because I do not remember. Looks like they were probably about $2. Do you guys want the Obsidian Flames restocked, maybe? I can't decide, because I'm happy to see them go and be like, okay, we're done with this product. But also the fact that they sold out sort of implies that it's one of the better products, because it does sell out, you know? I told my grandkids that I can't get any more bulk boxes from you for them. They were so disappointed. Will you ever go back to having them? What's your, did your address change, Mr. John? Let's see. I do still have them. They're just pricier, because I have a gentleman who's buying them all out. All right, give me a minute here. Nope, still the same. Okay. So I tell you what, for fun, why don't we just send you one, and we won't worry about the money on it, and we'll just send you one, and you can hand it off to them, and they can have some fun with it, okay? So we'll just be my little treat. It's really not that much money, to be honest. Here we are. But we'll just do it free for once and not worry about it next time. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. Merry Christmas. Oh, you could save it for a holiday or a birthday or something. All right. There we go. So we'll give out a box of that for free this time. And the reason I haven't been selling them, again, is because there's a guy who buys them like 20 boxes at a time. And I've looked him up. It's just going to a residential address. He says he has like autism and he just loves sorting cards, and that's it. So I don't know. I think he might be telling the truth. Every time I talk to him, he doesn't, you know, when you talk to a card shop guys are always really hawkish. You can like sense it coming off of them. It's like a competition with them. This guy, you don't sense that. He just seems like a guy who's like, "Ba-doo-ba-doo." You know, so I think he's telling the truth. I think he just likes opening these big bulk boxes, and that's it. So I'll write down BB. BB means bulk box. That's the bulk box code. I'll gladly pay you for it. No, it's okay. We'll give it away this time. You paid for some in the past, so I appreciate that. And, you know, I feel bad that they didn't get one recently. So you just give it to them as a treat. And, you know, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's not much to think about. They're not like a big deal, are they? You know, they're just boxes of bulk cards, aren't they? At the end of the day, they're just boxes of bulk cards. So they're not some super important fancy slab or something. You know, I actually do donate these sometimes. The bulk cards, my most recent donation, there's a game shop. Not a game shop, I'm sorry. There's a gaming group down the road from me. It's called LOZ Gaming. And a whole bunch of high school and middle school kids meet up there. It's a not-for-profit organization. And they meet up there and they play like, you know, Magic the Gathering. They play Pokemon. They play Minecraft. They got a whole bunch of TVs set up and video game systems. It's really stinky in that place. Every time I go in there, it smells like horrible BO. But, you know, I'll dump off some of the bulk cards with them. And, yeah, and so they'll just get some for free, and I just don't worry about it at that point. Because we do generate a lot of bulk, and it just piles up if I don't get rid of it somehow. So, and I don't want to throw it away, so, you know, I just drive it to them sometimes. I will send you the money. No. You don't have to do that again. You don't have to do that. You're, you know, you're trying to reject. I'm trying to give you a gift. All you got to do is accept it. I know how that feels. You're like, hey, I'm not asking for a gift. All right. So we did that. And we got this Pikachu. Look, see, we're giving away a much pricier thing right here. This is a $400 Pikachu we're handing away. I don't mind handing out a bulk box. It's not a big deal. All right. So you didn't ask for a free one or anything. I was just giving you a gift. Here's Mr. Case. He's getting spot number 8. Here goes Case. Hit cards. Sounds just being nice for its own sake. Yeah, you don't got to pay or anything. All right. I still can't figure out how to get cards. If you're wondering about free cards on this channel, to participate in the giveaway, you type in TCC. Now, if you're wanting to order some cards, I can kind of show you that on screen a little bit. Let me show you. Okay, so let's find our own channel. Let me show you the Carddass. Here it is. We'll click on this, our live stream. It is playing a big stupid ad. God, I hate ads. Skip. All right. So let's see how it works. I wonder if it works differently for me than it does for you guys. So, you guys said to click on those dots. You say that's how it's working for you guys, but it seems to work differently for me. So for me, it's got this down here, right? So here's the stream up here, and you're just trying to click on this more button, okay? And then there it is. There's the description. So you'll click on, and by the way, you'll hit this subscribe button, right? We're getting close to 100,000. We're so close. We're going to do a huge giveaway. Hey, those are still links, interestingly enough. Ah, wait, these are all still links. You guys said the links don't work either. That is so interesting. So it's all still working for me like the old style. So weird. Yeah, huh. So it depends on how you access the stream, I bet. If you access it probably like from the shorts, it probably shows up differently than if you access it like from the horizontal standard app. But yeah, you're trying to get into this. This is the description, and it contains all the information. It's got all the stuff for sale, a lot of stuff. And up here, this is the payment platforms like PayPal and ZELLE and all that. And here's the shipping, $9 flat fee in the USA. Here are our social media links, buyer agreement, secret menu. You want to check that out. This moving sale, I need to get rid of this. I need to dissipate it and put all these products back into their regular lists. The vintage box break, custom boosters, Pokemon Chinese starts the list out, huh? Cool. So that's it. You're trying to get into that description. That description gives you the price of things, but it also shows you, how I accept payments. So that's it. That's how you get into it. We all have the 3-dot method. Okay, so how do I get into the 3-dot method, I wonder? What if I were to click on our link in the... Here, let's click on this link. Open in the YouTube app. Close this. No, I don't have the 3-dot option. So the 3-dot option, that's not how it's working for me. I'm in the YouTube app, and it is definitely not doing that. It's just doing what I showed you there. Weird. Through shorts. Yeah, weird. I guess I'm not accessing it through shorts. I don't know. Let me hit play on this music. Both 3 dots and press and hold description access links don't work. They're grayed out. Press and hold description access links don't work. Wonder if there's a clever way around that. The description link's not working, huh? YouTube is weird. Tammy, for real. Let me play around with it a little bit more. So you're saying from YouTube Shorts it doesn't work, huh? So what if I go into Shorts? Come on, dude. Get me out of here. I want to see what you guys are experiencing. Let's see. So here are the shorts. And then we'll click on this. We'll search the Cardconomist. Clicking on that. Ah, we're in shorts. Okay, we're in the shorts view now. Here it is, shorts view. And now we're going to expand that. Okay. And you can hit like there. So the description. Very interesting. And then more. And then, yeah, the links are all grayed out here. That's very interesting. So if you're watching it purely from shorts, the links are grayed out. And let me see if I hold my finger over this and try to highlight it, how that looks. Give me a second here. Okay. So it looks like if you were to highlight like a link, you can click that button, open link. It's a little less convenient. Let me see if that works for me. I'm going to click open link. And yes, it absolutely works. It took me right into PayPal, and there it is. Yes, so you can do that. You can highlight the link and then click open link. That's not ideal. Ideally, the links would be working in the shorts. I don't know why it's not working. I think you're on an older version of YouTube. Hey, what's up, Doghouse? He says, why are you calling me out? Everyone was putting TCC multiple times like always. Why you single me out? Yeah, why are you guys always singling that guy out? He's just a nice guy. He's not trying to fight you guys. He's just trying to get some free Pokemon cards, and you guys are just beating him up. All right, I get to work on stuff now. What do I work on? Maybe I work on some of these. So we got these beautiful slabs here. These were slabs I was reconsidering. I was thinking about sending them out to grade again. Let's take a closer look at this guy. Why did he grade 9? Crazy. I guess. I don't really agree with that grade. That's a very harsh grade. He has anti-spam. So unfortunate for you. There you go. I'm about to get very upset on behalf of my best friend, the Doghouse, because you guys are beating him up, and I don't appreciate that. I'm about to type me, 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 me. Okay, look at that Pidgeotto. Ooh, fresh slab, fresh meat. Meats on the menu, boys. All right. He's a 9. He's a rainbow. Pidgeotto. Oops, I typed in Ligioto. Pidgeotto. And there we... Oh, that's an 8. And that's English. So the cheapest rainbow Pidgeotto is $70. That sounds about right. Yeah, should be about $70. 9.25. Pseudo-Wudo? I don't think I have any Pseudo-Wudos. Here we have Gary Oak. Oh, these are getting priced for the first time. I'd never priced these because when that PSA submission came back and it was so harsh, I sort of rejected it. I said, how could this possibly all be 8s and 9s? And they're taking like little nooks and crannies on the card and pretty much just declaring them. Yeah, man, it is tempting to crack these. They're worth so much if they come back 10, and they're worth so much less if they come back 9. That is tempting to just crack them. You know, I think the companies are still trying to decide how they want to grade cards like these, you know? I don't know. I don't know if I have the patience or the time. Like, how's this an 8 instead of a 9? I don't know, dude. That is so harsh. That is so incredibly harsh. I still remember, I have like PTSD from this return, this submission return. Their grading standard was absurdly tough on this one. And it honestly, it was part of the reason why I was so excited to start grading with companies like Tag Grading, because PSA got so harsh. I was like, well, why don't I just send all my cards to BGS now? You know, why don't I send my cards to CGC? They've got a pristine grade. And they might give me a nice gem 10 instead of a PSA 9 on a card like this Pidgeotto. And then if I have a really nice card, I get to have a pristine, you know? So I got really upset with that. I still remember it. I started to feel like the value wasn't there. Okay, there we go. Do you think they're worth sending to CGC? They could be. If CGC hands out any CGC Gem 10s, yeah, definitely. I don't know if I care enough to work on that. None of these have been graded twice, so they are whatever they are. I do feel PSA has harshly graded these and that they could potentially grade higher if you send them to CGC. I mean that. Okay, so he should be about $50-ish. I'll do 45. I don't have the patience. If somebody else does, you're welcome to try. Grading sounds too out of my element. You should make a bowl of some late night Fruit Loops. Oh, Fruit Loops. That sounds nice. Finally organized all my slabs. Pokemon TV died when they ended Ash's story. No one watches Pokemon anymore. I can see Mr. on the slab. Hey, that's me! All right, so this is a 9. Let's find out why. Okay. Man, I don't know, dude. That is a really nice 9. Again, I could totally see CGC handing out a CGC 10 to this. Man, these should be cracked. Man, I don't want to spend the money regrading them. Oh, I know I should. PSA just handed out too harsh of grades, to be honest. All right, it's happening, guys. It's not for sale. Let's get the cracking device out. Let's start crack-a-lacking. All right, so we've got an empty queue. If you guys want to open anything tonight, there's nothing in the queue, which is a perfect time period for me to start cracking these. You know, I'm going to get some safety glasses from now on. You guys stay here. I'm getting safety glasses. I'm not going to do this with that. I can't tell you guys to use safety glasses, and I don't use them. That doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm back. Well, unfortunately, I did not see them. But I went ahead and grabbed my better tool anyways. Set this here. Okay. Plugging this in. Do you think PSA gives famous content creators higher grades? No, definitely not. Definitely not. BGS maybe. BGS might be guilty of that. PSA is definitely not guilty of that. And good for them. I can understand the desire to do that. Shouldn't. Yeah. This tool is so much better. I don't know why I was messing around with that other one for so long. I bought it to test it out. This one's way better. Smash that like button if you enjoy seeing delicate cards get operated on. Oh my god, this tool is so much better. This was down by the encapsulator. Did you see that? Like magic. All right, off to CGC it goes. It could grade the same. It could grade worse. But we have to give these cards a try. We have to give them a new chance. I also have to take a picture of this. Okay, so we're going to get all these cracked and sent off to CGC. They deserve another chance. So let me head up here to the regrade channel. Get the pictures ready. We're going to be cracking all these and sending all these off to CGC. Okay. All right. These are all going to get cracked out. To CGC for regrade. I don't know if we'll regrade 100% of them, but we'll look at them. We'll take a close look at them. We'll decide after looking. That Pidgeotto, you know, he's close. He's what I would consider a borderline card because he has traits on him that cost him to turn into a 9 that I've seen on other Topps cards that's still graded 10. Okay. C for CGC. There it is. So CGC will give us a second opinion. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll give us an 8. Maybe they'll give us an 8 and I'll lose even more money. You got to try. Especially on these bizarre cards and when they feel like they're graded so unnecessarily harsh. I've never seen anyone crack so fast and don't make any mess. Yeah, it was pretty clean, huh? All right. Okay, so now we're going to hit refresh. We do have an order in the queue. I believe you'll get a better score. It's possible I get the same score. 9's already a high score. 9 is already a high score. Here's John Wilson. He says, thank you, Mr. John. He doesn't want me to send him the gift. He wants to pay for it. So, okay, so I'll send you that. Jose Trevino says 3 junk packs, 2 South Parks. So the junk packs are back. I have restocked these. They're super popular for some reason. Maybe because they're only $3 and you get just a wad of weird-ass cards. And then you want 2 South Park cards. And I believe we had to get a fresh box of those. Look at this. Trick or Trade from 2023. I think that's 2023, actually. Yep, that's 2023 Trick or Trade. What do you guys think of that? All right. 2 South Parks. You got it, man. There we go. How nice. My bad for making you question yourself and crack them, mister. I was more or less asking about your opinion to see what you've learned. Well, I already knew that I had set them aside to be cracked and regraded. And then I was saying, I don't want to crack these cards. I don't even care. Who cares? Just give them away. But it's like the little man in my head says, come on, dude. You know that these were graded really harsh. There might be a 10 amongst them. And beautiful. The South Park logo card. One of the best cards you can pull. Okay. Look at that, guys. I sold one of these for like $300. Beautiful card. Okay. Now you've got Mecha Streisand. Eric Cartman, another great pull. Are these underpriced, I wonder? I always wonder that. We are. Okay. The Anal Probe. Doesn't feel right saying that, but that's the name of the card. Okay. What is this music? It's very trippy. There were some cool 9 Inch Nails song on that new Tron album. I like the ones that sound almost like Alien and very computery. I love it when he does that. They sounded very original because one of the things I notice is some of the music just sounds like his usual playing around with computer noises kind of music. You know, he's got his synth pad and he's playing with the synth pad doing his usual stuff. But there were these new songs that sounded very unique and they sounded very fitting for the source material. So I really enjoyed it. I couldn't even name the songs for you because they just came out, so I don't know their names. But I thought they were pretty good. 2 of them were really good. Wow, these are thick, dude. Congratulations on a great pack. Tron is going to be... This isn't the right sleeve. There's no way that's the right sleeve. Ah, that was some other sleeve. That's what's going on. That sleeve wasn't the right size. That was some sort of fit sleeve. We're trying to cram them into a fit sleeve. Eric Cartman. Great stuff. That is a good pack. Congratulations. Jose Trevino. This is pack number 2. By the way, Jose sent in a nice $60 order for all this. Ready? So what do we have here? So on pack number 2, we got Chef. This is Trey and Matt, Terrace and Phillips. Come on now. Kind of sticking to each other. You got Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Pooh. He loves me and he loves you. This is, he's in the early seasons. Mephisto. Yep, Mephisto. Alphonse Mephisto. And Death. Chef is hilarious. Hey, Chef. I want to make love to you, woman. I don't got that deep voice like he does. There we go. Hey, Chef. Hello, children. Okay, what do we have here? Chef has his own Nintendo 64 game. He's a legend. A legend. So this is a junk pack. This comes out of a Karuta box. A Karuta box has these odd-looking green cards in them, and I never know what to do with them. I usually feel like throwing them away. But these are actually vintage ones, so I said, might as well keep them. These are also vintage. That's vintage Merlin stickers. Here is a little Mario poker card, a little Dirty poker card, Hello Kitty. These are, each pack of Final Fantasy comes with one holo card. And so here's a holo, here's a holo, here's a holo. So it's like you just opened 3 cold packs of Final Fantasy. So weird. These are parts of a Minecraft pack, and here is from a Fortnite pack as well. And this is a promo from Attack on Titan, which I guess I had a whole bunch of those, and I'm trying to get rid of them. So those are your pulls from pack number 1. Also, if you want, I can leave the pulls in these packs if you like that. If you like these little plastic packs, I can leave them in there. You can have me leave them as a surprise even. Here's Machamp. Here's some Star Wars, some holos, Black Waltz. The rule is, if it's called a junk pack, you have to expect that it is full of junk. That's Snoopy. If it's called a junk pack, that's because it quite literally has junk in it. Nothing in here is super valuable or good. But you might find something that you like. This is actually a box topper from Shiny Colors. I don't know what that is. We must have sold that at one point. It must have sold out. Some more Merlin stickers. Those might actually have some value, the Merlin stickers. Star Wars. All right, there we go. One person's junk is another person's treasure. I suppose so, because we keep selling these. They appear to be very popular at $3 a pack. It certainly fills your bag out. Yeah, you got all this now. Okay, let's go find your bag. So, didn't we give you a box? Yes, you've got a box. A very quickly filling box. I think we can put some of these in here. The junk packs just have like some really interesting things in them. You'll continue to see them get built up. And I have like almost an endless amount of cards to make junk packs out of, because for years I have been building up. I don't throw stuff away, right? So I just been building up all this crap for a long time, and I can just make these for a while. Not really, truly not going to run low. Okay, there we go. Was that Attack on Titan card a Titan rare? I don't think it was. Titan rares would have been like embossed, if I recall. So those would have been strictly holos. Okay, cool. But it might use the same artwork as a Titan rare, so it might be the same artwork. Thank you so much. Lovely. Okay, what else we got? Anything else? So the breaks, there is a break that has moved really far. This cloud break is up to 13. We've got, let's see, the lightning break here has 3 spots on it if you want a shot at this PSA 10 Giovanni's Nidoking. See that? Very beautiful. This comes out of the Japanese packs, obviously. But this one's already been pulled, and it's already been graded 10. So It's really not a bad shot. I mean, tell me the difference between opening $40 of Team Rocket vintage Japanese booster packs and just, you know, entering this break for $40. Odds of 1 in 5. It's really solid. Already graded 10. The cost of the grading's already been paid for. So all that's not bad. I think it's a good deal proposition. Elma. Here's a Venusaur. What else? Anything else interesting in terms of break? We need to get a new gym break up here, too. I feel like we need a new gym break. Each Final Fantasy card's about 40 cents, says Marquette. Really? I didn't know that. So I don't really pay attention to that. All I know is I end up with a whole bunch of that crap because it gets abandoned like crazy. You want to know what truly gets abandoned? Non-Pokemon cards they just get so abandoned. People do not care if they lose their non-Pokemon cards. It's all over the place. Like here, let me see if I can find one. What's a box I haven't tested in a while? Maybe the H boxes. I feel like I haven't tested the H boxes in a while. Okay, here's a Huwavu super expired bag. There's actually some Pokemon in here. You know, there we go. We got some Marvel, some Disney, lots of Disney. A little bit of Pokemon. Oh, that's why we haven't taken the bag back. So, you know, if you've got something nice in your bag, I don't like to take it back. But, man, 11/23, that's almost 2 full years from now. We'll be in November in 2 months. We're halfway through September. Wonder what happened to this guy. You know, this Pikachu back here wasn't worth anything. And now I think he's worth a ton now. I'll move this off to the side. Unfortunately, that is almost 2 years old. I don't know why he left it. People just leave their stuff. They don't care. It's very interesting. You know, here's how you ship out. Everyone knows how to ship out, right? $9 to ship out. So when you want your stuff, you just send me $9. That is the cost of shipping. And then it's done. And let's see if we can find another example. Here's one from a Mr. Haunted. It's expired last month. And we get into it. And, yeah, just some hollows. It's a couple hollows. Yeah. So I just got, like, tons of this crap. It's all over the place. Perfect for the junk packs. Perfect. Time to start squeezing it into lemon juice or something. Because there's just so much of that stuff all over the place. All right. I realize you give people 3 weeks after the month of its slab due date. Very thoughtful. Yeah, so exactly. What I tend to do is I claim it 6 months, but it's more like 7 months. Exactly. And I do that because I'm trying to scare people into finishing it in 6 months, but I'll actually accept almost 7 months. So that's exactly right. Is anyone watching F1 Quail today? I'm watching it. I care. I want all my stuff. Well, shoot. I heard my name called out. Then my net quit. Now I'm back. I saw that you placed an order for a bulk box for $40. So I was just saying that you're being very nice. Thank you. Israel Rodriguez, 2 Japanese kaijus. Oh, the kaijus. Oh, let's go get that. Way over here, 2 kaijus. All right, here they are. Remember when we opened up a whole case of these kaijus? Apparently, the kaijus can contain the handwritten signature of the voice actors. We're not talking about like a computer printed version, but like somebody sat down and signed something. Cool. That's why we had a guy from Australia buy a whole case of this off of me and then ship it after we opened it. Because he said these can contain a like fully hand-drawn signature, and he was going after it. So we have a decent chunk of this left, by the way. We have about 3/4 of a case left. I think we have about 3/4 of a case left. There we go. All right. Yeah, we've had some abandoned bags over the years, and they mostly do contain like Dragon Ball, Final Fantasy, that kind of stuff. All right, let's see. It's not because everyone abandons their stuff. It's because of the sheer number of people we service. Some very small percentage of people abandon their stuff, and it adds up very quickly. Over the years, over 6 years, it adds up very quickly. Stacks up. Now, I'm trying to remember. Did you say you already had a bag? We shipped you recently, didn't we? I think we shipped you, right? Okay, let's get you a fresh bag. New bag, bro. 79 people watching, only 40 thumbs up. Come on, people, hit that thumbs up. Aw, thanks, man. I'll be watching F1. F1 quail is a bird. Ooh, I'm gonna get some pet quails. I'm gonna start a quail meat farm. What do you guys think? Okay. This should say 925. Cool. All right. What are these? Whoa, 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 whoa. They tried to pour out. Look at that. So these are the Blockbuster Mewtwo promos that I have too many of. This is just one bag of them that I have. If anyone wants one of these put into their bag, 20 bucks. By the way, if you guys ever want to sell me your bag, I buy bags. You don't have to, you know, abandon your bag. You can sell it to me. I might be interested in buying it. Matthew Bigos. Hey, I recognize Matthew Bigos. What's up, man? He says, I'll take 2 packs of the Lord of the Rings and PSA grading for the Charmander card in my bag. Ooh, big order. Okay. 2 Lord of the Rings. Okay. And PSA grading for the Charmander, Mr. Matthew Bigos. How long have you been here, Matthew? Because I recognize your name, and it feels like you've been around for a long time. Snipping this. Very good. All right. Let's see what we got here, guys. Legolas. Some really obvious print lines there. Here's Gandalf, back when he was young. God, dude, that actor must be so old. We're going to need a new Gandalf soon, guys. You don't get to live forever. Okay, the Wraith Rider. Ooh. Like the trash bag the guy just opened, one Final Fantasy card is $6. Oh, nice. In that case, I hope that you guys buy up the rest of them because I got plenty more to fill, okay? This is like warped in a different direction. So weird. Maybe it's the way I loaded it back in. Did you service my pack split spot this afternoon in Ancient Origins? I believe I did. Pack split spot. Nathan Gordon. Here it is, Nathan Gordon. All right. So, let's get this open. You ready? Been a while. Work started again, so the money's rolling in. Nice. Ooh, there's a fully adult man hanging out with a very small man. Interesting. Who am I to judge? Here is Legolas and Aragorn. Okay. Okay. People in the woods on ponies because they think that they're better than everyone. Here's the Wood Ent. Now, that's my people right there. I'd be chilling with those guys. And here they are in the flood. And they're beating up the Tower of Saruman. Sorry, man. Saruman, easily defeated by water. There we go. How does that work exactly? I mean, I saw the tunnels under Saruman's tower, right? They were real deep. How does that not just fill up with water and get rid of all the water? Well, I mean, I guess if the water continuously kept flooding, I don't know. You'd have to have a lot of water from the way it looked. There you go, Mr. Matthew. Is this also a new bag? Let's see, Matthew with an M-A-T-T. It's the random small price cards that no one really buys, but it is $2 to $7 in theory. Ah, yes, in theory. I see. Okay, those are all expired bags. That was like 4 expired bags right there. Let's go find this. This is Mahasvara's box. Was in and out of stream at gym earlier. You're taking on a gym leader? Here it is, Mr. Matthew Bigos. So, oh, Charmander Char. All right. Good. Place this back in here. Should be a smallish bag. How much for you to pick a random card for me to grade from my bag, says Nintixo. You could just send me money to grade a card and say pick a good card. If you do that, I'll do it for you, okay? But you might not get the same service as if you had me do a bag sort. Okay, there we go. Charmander. Nice. Let's send him out. off to PSA. We got any gym breaks? There are 2 gym breaks currently. Okay. 1 and 2. So it's Rainbow Hollow, Topps Charizard, tail end of the race. Could be worth a regrade, by the way. What we discovered about Tag is they grade the Pokemon Topps cards incredibly harsh. So they grade them very harsh, harsher than PSA, in fact. And then Hitmonlee, just one of these really lovely Toro Karuta cards. You know, we looked up the cheapest Toro Karuta card on eBay, and it was like $130. Well, this is like 70 bucks or something, so we're way under that price. But if nobody wants it, maybe it's time that I list it onto eBay. Might be that time. I just had something sell on eBay. You know those GI Joe vintage boxes? One just sold for $350 on eBay. eBay's pretty powerful. Matthew Bigos. Okay. P for PSA. Don't question the Lord of the Rings, mister. Why didn't they just ride the birds to the mountain and throw the ring in? You what? Shut up! You can't ask that question. You can't just ask the birds to do that kind of stuff. They're impartial. They're too regal. And what if the ring corrupted the bird? Come on, dude. What if the bird wanted the ring? Because it makes sense. What if the bird was carrying the ring and then the bad guy sensed it and it caught the bird? It would have been all hell. All right, there's no orders in the queue. That is what I would call kind of a slow Friday night. But probably because we ran an extra long daytime stream, and that was not slow. We were busy the whole time. So I don't know. Let's find things to keep ourselves busy with, because I believe I have more cards to grade. More cards to price. Also, I did talk about cleaning up over here, which is very tempting. Okay. Here's a nice card. Grabbing this. The bird can just fly higher. Oops, where did that come from? Shut up! Yeah, but the bad guy can just fly higher. I'm considering an order, just nothing crazy. Imagine flying with the big fire eye looking at you. Yeah, exactly. All you crazy hobbits. You guys think you can just fly the bird, huh? Why don't you just fly the bird? Oh, it's so easy. There you are. The bird doesn't even have an axe. Gimli has an axe. And my axe. Poker. Ivysaur. Somebody just put the leaf green Vaporeon into slab away for $340. So we have a specialty Ivysaur. This is the leaf green Ivysaur, not like the standard poker Ivysaur. Are all you do is anime packs? In the extended menu, there's a little bit of sports. Have you guys checked out the extended menu before? There's more stuff over there in the extended menu. Okay, so this scary card is Population 6. Look at that. It's got the Japanese name down there. Pretty cool. Okay. I can't understand how to make a purchase. I tried to find it at your Instagram. Please help. I want to try and pull cards. Yeah, so it's not in Instagram. It's right here on YouTube. Right here on YouTube. You don't need to leave the YouTube. And it's going to be in our description of our YouTube live stream. That's what's going on. So let's pretend we're in the shorts. Let's look ourselves up. There's 2 different ways to find the stream. Just in the normal way on the app, but also if you're in the shorts, you might find it that way too. To get to the description, you click on these 3 white dots in the upper corner. There it is. There's the description there. And so here it is, right? Well, we're going to expand it. And there it is. There is the menu and all the information. Now, unfortunately, it seems like in the shorts mode, these links don't work unless you highlight them. Like if you try to select them, and then you have to click open. Okay, so you kind of have to do like this. Okay, and then you click open link. Now, you don't have to watch it from the shorts page, though. You can go to regular YouTube by clicking home and then searching me up again. And if you do it that way, so here's the same stream, but we're not in YouTube Shorts anymore. So we're going to click on that and wait for this stupid ad to go by. Look at this ad, dude. Okay, we're going to skip there. Let's go ahead and pause this. We'll pull, so we'll close this. And there we go. So here is, boop. Here's the same description, but now the links are working. How nice. So if you want the links to work, don't watch the stream from the shorts. Watch them from standard YouTube app as if you're watching a horizontal stream. So now you can just click on the PayPal link. You can click on the Weiss link if you're international. You can click on the buyer agreement. You can click on our Discord. The secret menu, you can just click on it. That is how it works. I'm testing it out, right? Yep, cool. So here's the extended menu right now. A little bit more in the extended menu. All right, cool. And you know, you should probably read that buyer agreement. You'll see some of the rules. I had to update the buyer agreement. I had to update it. All right. I have not updated it in a very long time. Say refresh on this. Okay, and how much to open Pokemon? How much to open one Pokemon pack right now? Well, it could be really cheap. It could be as cheap as like $1.70 if you want to open up one Korean rocket pack. $1.70, really cheap. Or it could be really expensive. You can open up, I don't know, like 151, and that's like 20, 21, I think it's $20 a pack. Sea and Sky, oh, Crown Zenith, that's 21 a pack. Hey, what's up, Case Hit Cards? Rain says, Mister, I think you get a different layout than us. Yeah, maybe. All right. Is that Charizard card worth grading? This one? Is it worth regrading? It might. I don't know. I have not tried to regrade it before. And tag's tricky to crack open. I know that. The tag slabs are tricky to crack open. They're very brittle, so they're just a little bit harder to crack open. Okay, let me hit refresh here. Do you still have Halo cards? I sure do. I just bought a fresh box of them. They're on the way. And I'm going to open a fresh box of it for myself because I want to grade some Halo cards too. One box of Uzusoft and one pack of Dan to Dan. Ooh, Dan to Dan. Let's see. Oh, gosh, I know we have Dan to Dan. Where do we keep it? We definitely have that. Oh, here's some of this. This should be stored over here, though. There it goes. Too much stuff. This ought to get cleaned up and organized. Like I just got like these. Look at that. Here's a, this technically was a gym break, but nobody entered it, so I took it off the table. There's another gym break for like a whole booster box of Pokemon cards, but nobody entered that, and I took that off the table. So we've had a variety of things that didn't really get enough attention. So Dan to Dan's not over there. Where is Dan to Dan? I know I've seen it. Man, the problem is we have so many freaking sets. It's too many. It's too many. Okay, we got these girl card sets. Here's this Playboy set. Let me put this over here. Throw this away. More girl card sets. There's Metazoo Hello Kitty. Here's Mario, Union Arena. That's Final Fantasy. Dude, I swear to God we have it in this room right now. Dan to Dan for sure is in this room. And I don't see it. And I'm going to go and I'm going to open up another box of it. And it's going to be like the third box of it I've opened. And they're all just floating around in this room somewhere. I know they are. It's kind of annoying. Let's see. Is it in this case behind me, maybe? No, but these are in the case behind me. Doesn't this look nice? Look at this. Nice Japanese. Ooh. All right. I guess I'll go get another box of Dan to Dan knowing with almost 100% certainty that there is a box already in the room. I'm going to go crazy. But in the meantime, let's start with your Yuzu Soft, okay? Oh, that just drives me nuts. I know it's in here. And the music stopped again. I hate that the music stops. Are you still watching? Yes! Ooh, you'll have to pay $150 for the yearly subscription if you want it to play continuously. All right, here we are. Ooh. Dude, they ask like every 25 minutes if I'm still watching. Here we go. EV Heroes packs available. Yep, we got EV Heroes. We are running lower on that, though. That's been a popular one. Okay, you ready? Where would I be hiding? Stinky Dan to Dan. Are you still watching? Are you still watching? Lovely. Let's trade those around. All right. Let's see. One snip. Two snip. And three snips. All right. Very nice. Mister, you ever have thoughts of making a Shopify store? Yep. Actually, I've worked on that before. You know why we don't do it? When you use Shopify, they take a cut of the sales. Why do I need that? Why should I pay them? We've been doing it like this for 6 years. This is year number 7. It just started. We're on year number 7, and I haven't given Shopify $1. I haven't given Shopify $1. I haven't given eBay $1. When we make sales here, right here on YouTube, I don't have to pay eBay anything. I haven't had to give, let's see, what did I name? Whatnot, eBay, Shopify. Yeah. It's crazy. These processing companies, they're like ghouls, dude. They're like vampires. They're like, we'll help you succeed by taking your money away. That's what they do, man. It's crazy. Whoa, he's biting her on the neck. All right. Have you ever thought of making a Shopify? Seems efficient. Well, you know, there's hordes of people selling cards on like Whatnot or whatever, right? And those guys always have to pay Whatnot like 8% of their sales. And then I think there's like still like a 3% processing fee anyways. So they pay for that and then they pay for the processing fee. And then you get scammed because Whatnot is full of scammers. It's like overfilled with scammers. It is. Every other week you hear about a new scammer. Some guy cheated you out of an auction you won, or cheated you out of a break that you won, or cheated you out of a giveaway that you won, or some underage kid selling cards and taking the pack off screen if it's a hot card or some crazy crap like that. You know, it's just constant. There's like some famous clips that came out of Whatnot from the sheer number of people who would like pull out a VMAX Umbreon Altart and they'd be like, oh, there's nothing here. And then they'd bring it back on screen and the card was missing. So that kind of crap. It was really bad stuff. So they built up a really wonderful reputation of being the place to go if you want to run into lots of low quality, you know, people. Not everybody, though. I'm sure there's probably some decent ones on Whatnot, I'm sure, but I don't know, man. It makes me not want to stream over there for sure. Oh, konnichiwa. I remember when that place was just getting, and you know, it's not just them. I'm sure it's like TikTok and all these other places too, though. But they give Rip and Shipping a bad name, and I don't like that. But it's good for me too, by the way, you know, because we have a stellar reputation. 6 years, stellar reputation. Because I'm not about all that biz. All right, wow. So that's what a Usersoft box looks like. Sent you payment for Halo card on PayPal. I did not know the price of the pack, so sent $10. Okay, hold on. So wait a second. I will go find the price of the pack. It's in our menu, and I can understand what you basically just said was your menu is so large, I don't know what the pack is. I don't know what it costs. So under the tops category, Topps Halo is $45 a pack. So let me grab that for you real fast and show it to you. This is the vintage Topps pack. That one's 45 bucks. It's got some really prestigious cards in it, holographics that go for a lot of money. That's 45. Now there's a cheaper one. This is the Halo Upper Deck. It's a totally different series. They released this like, was it last year or this year? I don't remember. So that's the Halo Upper Deck, very recently made. Lots of very cool modern card designs for that one. All right, and that one is probably listed under other card set. There it is, Halo Upper Deck Hobby Box Pack, $14. So this one's $14 and this one's $45. So if you want the $14 one, you need to send another $4 in, okay? All right, now back to this real fast. Now you needed a pack of Dan to Dan, and I know we have an open box of Dan to Dan somewhere, and I don't know where it's at. And so I guess, I'll just go get another box of Dan to Dan. Ah! All right, so here we are. Ugh. Dan to Dan. I want the $14 one. Sounds good. I'm going to ship before Christmas. Happy holidays. Are you guys ready for the Christmas music? It's just around the corner. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. It's the holiday season. Ooh. Rawr. All right. I'm a big fan of the holidays. Shipping after Christmas will be a long wait. Nah, it won't be that bad. Might be a few extra days, but it won't be like that bad. Haha. All right, building this bag up nice and fast, huh? Loving it. Cool. I'm ready for roasted turkey. I love Thanksgiving. Easily my favorite holiday. It marks the beginning of the Christmas time period. Oh, right, I needed more stickers. Did I not bring one in? I'm so dumb. I bet I didn't bring them in. Oh, my God, I did not. God, I hate myself. Let me go get some stickers. I'll be right back. Taking that out of my way. It's almost time for Halloween. It's not Christmas time. It's Halloween time. Remember when Halloween was like kind of cool? You know, they were making shows like The Nightmare Before Christmas. They were still making iconic shows. People actually hung out outside during Halloween. Everyone actually dressed up. There were children. Like, people had children. People made their yards nice. You got candy. What happened to all that? It's all gone. There you go. Karis and I live in kind of a decent little neighborhood. It's not huge, but we got like 2 trick-or-treaters last year. I guess if you think about it, trick-or-treating's not like the most important thing for your kid. And then also, nobody's having kids, but also candy's not exactly healthy for your kid. So maybe it's a combination of factors. Maybe people are too lazy to. Has anyone else noticed that? It seems like nobody cares about making their house look nice for the holidays. I'm guilty of that. I should change that. This year I should work on that. I should decorate my home. There we go. All right. Can you open it? I'm eager to see what's inside the $14 Halo card. Yes, but first we have to take care of Exadrian Adorno. He's ahead of you, so he goes first. So he says, PSA bag sort, Exadrian Adorno. He wants me to pick out a good card to send off to PSA. You got it, baby. All right. Where did I see your bag? I think it was in this box. You would like a card sent off to PSA. Keep in mind, if you want to grade with tag grading, we get a special price on that because I am a tag dealer. I have a contract with tag. How cool is that? We get a faster turnaround time because of tag grading. And we get a better price. It's very cool. So a bag sort's a bag sort. Let's do this proper. You ready? He paid for a bag sort. He's got to get a bag sort. Okay, I like this. I like this. Obviously, I like your ARs. This AR, not so much. Oh, you got the Crobat. You're going to be sending in the Crobat. It's like a 90% chance you're sending in the Crobat. Your Silverwing. That's got a Slitherwing. Not silver. Silverwing. Silverwing. Which, Mister, should you have that in the description about the tag deal? We have a deal with tag grading. I applied for their tag grading program where you can be like a middleman grader with them. And they said they accepted my application and I had to sign a contract with them to grade a certain number of cards. As a result, we get priority when it comes to grading. They get our stuff done a little earlier. And not just that, but it's a little cheaper too. So you notice the PSA grading, I'm charging $39 per card, but with the tag grading, just $30 a card, much cheaper. And so with PSA grading, if you sign up for PSA grading, you spend more money, cost more, but also it takes many more months for it to come back. It takes like 3 months. With tag, we're expecting maybe about 1 month. Here it is. Might be less than that, but I'm betting it'll be about 1 month. That's my prediction. I should have a second bag, says Exadrian. You've got 2 bags? Are you sure? Here it is. Okay, there's the Apple guy. Are you sure? Here's this. That's a nice deal. Yeah, I was really happy with it. You know, we actually were one of the earlier YouTubers to grade with tag grading, and I made a video showing off that their stuff was kind of nice, and that video ended up getting mega views, tons of views. All right. Oh, you do have a second bag. All right, fine. I'll sort out the second bag for free. Let's see. You got a little Ninetales there. You got a little Psyduck. Got a little Raging Bolt. A lot of hollows. You ever don't want your hollows, just say the word. I'll cut them out. You can be like, I don't want. You can be like, I don't want my Korean hollows or something like that if you don't like them. Okay, so you can be specific. All right, there you go. You got a lot of stuff. So here's what we like from your 2 bags. Any AR, the SRs, donate hollows. Oh, nice. That's going to make your stuff so much more sizable. Out of all this, you know what I would send? The very first card I would send? How's this Liverwing looking? I would definitely send your Crobat first. There it is. He's an alternative art. So you got to consider that. That would be my pick. Now, you do, in fact, have a lot of hollows. Let's take a quick look at some of those hollows that we can remove. Okay. Proton Jumper. Holos are amazing because what they do is they make your bag gigantic, but don't really add too much value to it. These are technically holos as well. I don't know if you will like those. You might want to keep those. These aren't even sleeved. Okay, we'll keep these. These are yellow border. You keep those in your bag. Donate EX2. You don't want your EXs. I'll accept those. We'll put those into, I don't know, we'll put those into the, okay, so here's some Korean EXs. You keep the English one, okay? I don't recommend giving those away. The English ones might have some value, okay? They might be worth like a little over $1, some of them. All right, so there you go. Look at that. Whew. Room saving, Mr. Exadrian. Room saving. It's really quite a lot. You'd be surprised how much cards you get out of a booster pack are really just junk. They give you junk because they want you to feel like you're getting something, but it's truly not rare, just like it would look. Okay. There's an EX. Actually, the EX should have been in this pile. You keep this. You don't want to get rid of that. That's not a good idea. Okay. These don't really matter too much. Those are Korean commons, basically. This is an AR, but it's orbital. So my brain inflexively or reflexively knew not to count it among your hit pile. Okay. All right. There you have it. Nice. How about that? How now, brown cow? Look at that. Crazy, dude. All right. So here's what your hit pile looks like. Once again, your cards have been condensed down into your good stuff. Nice. And we've got your Crobat ready to be sent out to PSA. Does that sound good? Okay. I'm playing because I got hella bags to sort. He's got a lot that he could sort. Okay. I would feel good getting you some of your stuff. Getting your stuff shipped out to you so that there's, you know, because it gets hard to track at some point, doesn't it? It gets hard to keep track of it all. Woo! Mr. Exadrian! Exadrian! Let's grab this. Let's do tag. You want to do tag? So that means you got $9 left. Oh, you can't do tag for this particular card. So one downside to tag grading, they don't do Korean yet. The reason they don't do it yet, they're getting like, they told me actually, they're getting like the translations right, because on the tag grading labels, they do something that PSA, actually none of the other companies do this. So on the tag label, they have both the English name and the Korean name, or the English name and the Japanese name. It depends on what card you send them. As a result, it's taken them a little while to start accepting Korean cards because they don't want to mess it up. So it's, you know, they got to be able to translate it all correctly from the card to their label. So let's write Exadrian. I tell you what, for this one, and this one is your best one to grade. For this one, let's go ahead and send it off to PSA like the original plan. That's your best move, I think. Exadrian Adorno. Okay. There we go. Very nice. And put this into our grading box. And there it goes. Very nice. How about a little rotate here? We got the Mega Break. Mega Gengar, one of the fastest moving Mega Breaks ever. $40 to jump in there. Here's the Jigglypuff, Tora Karuta, and I like this Ivysaur in the middle. Let's leave him there for another round. Okay, what do we have here? We have Mr. Jonas, and he wants the Halo card. Jonas! All right. Mr. Jonas Gordon. One Halo card. Now, I see you sent in 10, but I believe you also sent that 4 in later. So, there's that. You think tag would grade Spy Family? I think it would. Yeah, they said that on their website they do grade Weiss cards. And so I assume that includes all Weiss cards? I assume. Worst thing that could happen is they could reject it, I guess. Okay, Mr. Jonas. Oops. What do we got? We got Holly. And we've got Halo 4, the story so far. And we got Edward Buck. Oh, so your pack's kind of a cold pack. Meaning if I were you, I'd consider trying again for a hotter card. This would be your hit card right here, but you got like a location. Well, no, you got a story so far. So this is like a cutscene from one of the games. And so we'll set that there. And then these are more like commons. You see, these are commons. You get to keep them because that's the nature of this kind of booster pack. And so you got a couple characters. That's a location. Story so far. Story so far. And this is in green because it's a higher rarity, but it's not really that big of a deal. Okay. You can get them all the way up in golden rarity with like a number on them as well. So they get really fancy. And then there's some really specialty cards in here, like the Hardlight Master Chief. I just bought that. I'm probably going to host a break on that eventually because I think it's super cool. I'll do one more. Wait. I can let you jump the line if no one else ordered one. Okay, I'll let you jump the line if no one else ordered one. So let's see. All right, looks like no one else ordered one. And you did order again. Okay, so I will go ahead and service that for you right now. Here you go. You have to be careful with that because if someone else also ordered one, that would be their pack. And they would be like, hey, that one was mine. All right, let's snip that. Ready? So you're experiencing this for the first time, Mr. JM Life. What do you think of it? It's pretty fun, right? We've been doing this for 6 years, 6 complete years. We're on year number 7. 3 more years and we'll be celebrating 10-year anniversary. How crazy would that be? We didn't really celebrate on the 5-year anniversary, I guess, when you think about it. Oh, the Prophet. He's the Prophet. Oh, no. You got another The Story So Far card. And it's not numbered. So you got 2 pretty normal packs. Nothing too crazy in these packs this time. It is. This was from Halo Combat Evolved, The Story So Far. So that looks like, is that early in the game? All right. The Safety of the AI Cortana. That's so fun. Okay, The Prophet of Regret. Hey, man, I'm not familiar with your channel, but your live popped up in my feed. Just want to wish you a blessed day. Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny Blue Neat. I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. All right. And good luck. Good luck. Here we are. Very nice. Ooh. Ho-ho. The remastered first cutscene. Put that little green guy in there. Prophet of Truth. But he was a liar. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it works in real life. They tell you they know the truth because that's what makes you think they know the truth. It's simple. I'm not a trickster, I promise. Okay, Jonas. New bag time. Who am I? Ah, yes, the truth teller. Actually, I thought that was why Donald Trump's app name, Truth Social. I always thought that was a bad name. I was like, don't call it that. It's too, it's too weird. It's a bad name. Somebody, I don't remember who it was, but somebody recommended he call it like Trumpster or something like that and do like a little, Trump, the musical instrument, trumpet. Are you ready? Anyways, but the Prophet of Truth, right? He's the big villain in this story. Has anyone here not played Halo, by the way? Halo is such a cool game. Did anyone not play the original Halo? If you haven't played it, you missed out. Very fun, very playable. You can play it today. Actually, isn't it coming to the PlayStation? Didn't I read that? It should have been Regret. No, Regret's a really important character. The Prophet of Regret was like this character who really believed everything that the Prophet of Truth was saying, but the Prophet of Truth was kind of, not a good guy. All right. I played day 1 from the Xbox original. My brothers and I, we traded our GameCube in at GameStop for a used Xbox original. I played on the Duke controller. We played Halo 1. We were super shocked by the multiplayer because we'd never, ever, ever experienced online multiplayer where you can put a headset on and actually talk to a person in live time over a headset. So we'd never been in a group chat headset before. And I remember my younger brother, I have a couple brothers, so he was down 2 rows. He was quite young. First thing he starts doing, cussing like a sailor. Like the moment he's in that group, he's just dropping the F-bomb over and over again. Maybe because the idea was so novel to him that there was nothing stopping him from cursing horribly. So very interesting behavior, maybe a pattern you see in a lot of young guys. You know, you ever get into a group chat and somebody's acting really uncouth. That's an awesome experience. I remember linking up all the boxes and doing the hammer wars and building our own battle arenas. Now the hammers didn't come till later. That was a different. That's Halo 2 at least. I don't remember if it was in Halo 2 even, but ain't nothing like playing it on the OG Xbox with the chunky controller. The Duke. All right, Christine says 2 junk packs and 1 Team Rocket snipe. Excuse me. So here is 2 of these. Okay. And a Team Rocket pack. Where's that Team Rocket pack? I swear we have an open box of Team Rocket somewhere, but maybe not. Let's go ahead and grab this. Dude, just reaching my arm out hurts my arm. I wonder what the heck is wrong with it. You built a ton of tough skin in those early days. Oh, yeah, because, you know, people would trash talk, and they got really aggressive sometimes. You'd be playing a game like Gears of War, and I'm not going to brag, but I was really good. And so we beat a lot of guys, and they'd get angry, and they'd stay in the lobby. That's how Gears worked. You sat in the lobby together, and you could just talk. And so you'd sit in the lobby, and they'd really try to get under your skin. It is. I had a guy, he like freaked out. He's like, I'll find you. I'll kill you. I was like, oh my God, dude. That's what they do eventually, by the way. They eventually go to that. That was back in the wild, wild west of headsets. You could say all that and not get banned. You can't do that now. You get banned right away. Wall bouncing and 2 peacefools. Here you go. Look at this. I played with the coordinated team, and we communicated and had a plan for every map. And we did all use the wall bouncing and the shotguns, and we practiced, but we never started that way. So that was the thing. In Gears 1, everyone wanted to go straight to shotguns, but as much as we could, we would actually try to sort of like gain control of the power weapons. That was our focus, was actually the power weapons. And we would actually use the Lancers to accomplish this. So we would actually sit back with Lancers. That was not common in Gears 1. In Gears 1, a lot of wall bouncing right away. But no, we would do coordination, and it was very, very effective. Ooh. Look at that. All right. I would rush frags. Yeah, Gears of War was my first game I played online. Cool. Yeah, it was a great game, man. Oops. Flipping that pack around. There we go. It was a fun game. All right. Gears 2 was just as fun. Gears 2, it was dark. It was moody. It was depressing. It was morose. But it had like this mind-blowing level of detail to the Hive ruins. Oh, man, it was good. It was so good. Now, unfortunately, it almost lost some of the quickness of Gears 1. It was like clunky and slower. And now the smoke grenades would knock everybody over. You'd go flying. You'd get ragdolled by a smoke grenade. So there were some elements that were not so fun, like the balancing and all that. But the artwork was on a whole nother level with Gears 2. It like reached a new height. And it was just shocking how good it was. And then Dom killing his own wife was so dark. And I was really impressed by that. I was so impressed. You know, I was pretty young, but I was like, wow, what a story. And for those who have never played, I'm spoiling it a little bit. I'm sorry. It's been out a very long time. But they're on this hunt. They're on this really deep hunt into like the enemy territory. You and your partner, your teammate. Super deep. The Hive's like this horrible, evil, semi-human, semi-monster group. And you make it super deep down into the Hive's, lair, hive, whatever you call it. You do find his wife, but she's been tortured too long. So she's almost dead anyways. And she's not going to make it back out. You can't bring her with you because, she's just not going to make it. She doesn't have the energy. And so he puts her to death. Sort of like euthanizing somebody that's in a lot of pain kind of situation. It was super dark. And mind you, I was like, how old was I? Like 14? I don't know. I was so young, dude. Aaron Rodriguez. 2 Obsidian Flames and 2 Ghosts of the Past. Oh, yeah. Let's get it. Ghosts of the Past, Obsidian Flames. You can't open these Ghosts of the Past. These are reserved exclusively for our friend, Mr. Mark. Alex is sad. Yeah, and that was Dom. They did extremely well with it. They did extremely well with the marketing for the game before it comes out. They set the tone just right. You know, you get this feeling like, yeah, we're gonna make it, we're gonna save her, blah blah blah. They give you like all these cutscenes and flashbacks and stuff like that. They like perfected the depression. It was so bad. And the character acting and the voice acting was so good. By the way, for those of you who've never played this, here's another fun tip. The voice actor of the main character, see, Dom's the side character. He's like the, he's obviously critical to the story, but he's the secondary guy. The main character is voiced by Jake the Dog's voice actor, Jake the Dog from Adventure Time, who is also Bender from Futurama. It's the same voice actor. His name's Joe DiMaggio, and he does such a good job. It's really good. All right, so 2 Obsidian Flames. Let's see. So it's no wonder that they were then given the green light to make Gears of War 3. Ooh. It's a premium game for premium players. How about them Borderlands 4? Oh yeah, I heard about that game. I haven't touched it yet. Borderlands kind of lost me. I feel like they hadn't made anything that made my head turn in a long time. I've heard Borderlands 4 is not that bad. But didn't they have like a previous game that kind of flopped? Did you know Leon Hart did voiceover for One Piece? What? Leon Hart, the Pokemon card guy? What did he do? He was in One Piece? Really? I'd heard he wanted to do voice acting. That's super cool. I would love a minor role in some kind of voice acting. That would be, I would really enjoy that. That would be very cool. It is. I'd do it for free. I wouldn't even care about getting paid. It is. Okay. That's the problem. You know, people complain about voice actors not getting paid enough. And it's like, I get that in some cases. But, you know, there's probably like a long line of people who would love to replace you as a voice actor. That's a problem. So many people would love to have that job because it's such a, sort of like, it's a very cool job. You're like, yeah, I'm the voice actor. I act with my voice. Do you know what game is really fun to play? War Thunder. Tiny Tina's flopped a bit. Tiny Tina's. Borderlands 4 is buggy. Let's see. Charizard says Stuff and Stuff. No Charizard. I'm sorry. You would have to travel and stay there for the duration of the recording. How will you pay for your hotels? Out of my own pocket with cash, easily. There we go. With cash. It'll be like a vacation. So, but yeah, I get it. I'm not trying to say voice actors shouldn't get paid. All I'm trying to say is that when you hear them say, well, it's not fair what we get paid, I go, well, what about the supply and demand? The supply of people who are willing to do voice acting for very little money is huge. There is a huge supply. There is a lot of people who would like their chance to become a voice actor. So that is the problem. Joshua Whipple, 5 Mega Brave. Mega Brave. Any news tonight? What's in the news, guys? Anything interesting? What have I heard in the news? We talked about this in the daytime stream. There was the one singer, David, I believe his name is. He's a rapper. And his music sounds eerily like the thing he's been accused of, which is murder. He's been accused of murdering his 15-year-old girlfriend. You heard that right, 15 years old. She has been found dead in the trunk of his Tesla, heavily decomposed. She's been missing for a year. They have found her in the back of his vehicle. And now everyone's listening to his music and analyzing his lyrics. And in fact, in his lyrics are some pretty violent phrases. And it does sound like, I don't know, like maybe she got mixed up with this guy and she shouldn't have, and he might have killed her. Like, I don't know if you guys heard about that. It's pretty crazy. 5 white Japanese. Ooh. Okay, give me a minute. So now his music is getting played again and again and again and hitting the charts. It's going up in the charts. His music is pretty creepy. Shocker to no one. That guy as well, wild what he said in the lyrics. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Very nice. I know there's been a lot of conversation over Jimmy Kimmel getting canceled. We are. Trying to think what else has happened. Has anything else happened? Snipping this. I can't think of anything else interesting in the news. Snipping this. Snip. Oh. All right. Who's music? Hit him with the Hennessy. Ready? Joshua Whipple. What does that mean? Archeops. Here's... That tail doesn't look right, man. I don't know about that. What person were you talking about? Oh! Joshua Whipple, it's your lucky day, dude. Just hiding right around the corner was a God Pack for Pokemon White. Just think how long these sat here. Because I haven't had an order for these in a long time. Just sitting here waiting. Okay, you ready? So we got this guy, Shelmet. I don't know this guy's name. Mian Fu or something like that. Mian Pao. Scrafty. I think it's Scrafty. It's not Swoobat. I don't remember this guy's name. I didn't play Black and White. Vanillish? I think it's Vanillish. And Bouffalant. Oh! Woobat. Thank you. Woobat. All right. Not bad, Mr. Josh. That's pretty good. So nice. All right. Start sleeving these up. Ta-da! All right. All right. Ooh. Sweet. Clip it. Clip it, baby. Oh, yeah. Clipping time. It's Morbin time. All right. Oh, there was something big in the news. I just heard about it. There was something big. The H-1B visa, which was used to bring in a lot of Indian tech workers, has gone from costing $1,000 per year to $100,000 per year. Wow. So people are talking about that and what that means for the tech industry and how that could affect America negatively or positively. From $1,000 to $100,000. That means if you're Apple and you want to bring in 1,000 tech workers from India, you pay $1,000 each. Now you got to pay $100,000 each. Yowza, dude. Yowza. That is pricey. What do you guys think of that? Is that bad? Yeah, I think we're going to miss out on some talent is probably the downside. You know, talent that was in that price range. On the upside, you know, I heard that there was a problem where American tech workers were getting fired, laid off. They can't find jobs. Did you guys hear about that? So they probably don't mind this rule. They're probably cheering. That would have been like Karis and me 8 years ago. Of course, that was 8 years ago. There was nothing wrong 8 years ago. But I've heard recently, multiple times, that it's actually a terrible idea to get a computer science degree because you cannot get any work with the computer science degree anymore. And so why go to school for computer science if you're not going to find a job? You are, because we import them. And so that's a big deal for anyone in computer science inside of the United States. I don't know. It's very interesting. I think from 1,000 to 100,000 is pretty steep. I think it should have been a lower number. Maybe like, I don't know. I don't know what number would be best. But he's basically saying we don't want anybody unless they are the most critical person ever. And so you're already going to pay us all this money because it's worth it. So I don't know. It's very interesting. Not a small change. Not a small change. It's a big deal, actually. I think I read some speculation that what'll happen is that the work that these tech workers from around the world, China and India, would have done for the U.S. will now stay in their own country, and the United States will have to pay money to have them do contract work from their country, which is kind of like what Karissa's company does all day long right now. They do contract workers, and a big part of Karissa's job is working with contract workers. And so that was one of the speculations I was reading online. Let's see. Maybe because they have nothing good to offer or they use AI. That's my second God Pack on this channel. Nice, dude. Scraggy dope. It will be bad if you work in the high crowded tech zones, but it's booming in the country with new cell phone towers and servers going live. I'm sure it'll be the same as tariffs where it went ultra high, then it goes back down. You know, I heard a speculation that he's just fighting with India. I heard that. I heard that Trump's just fighting with India. And so it's not even entirely about tech. It's actually about his fight with them. So I've heard that as well. That's a speculation. I don't know. It's very interesting. Oh. Can I purchase a pack if I'm in Australia? 100%. Yes, you may. Arctura Karuto Voltorb. Okay. He's just fighting with them. We are. He recently did like a 50% tariff on India, I heard. I don't know if that's true, but it's like, man, that's a lot, man. And then he says, no more tech workers. Whew. Like it, sweep of your pen. You're changing the market. That's a big deal. Ready? But yeah, I will say this. If you're a computer science student in America, this is the best news you've heard all year. Even if you don't like him, he basically just guaranteed you're going to have a job out of college. So it's weird because I hear people like on the left criticizing this heavily, but it's a very sort of like pro-worker, pro-middle-class worker kind of thing. There it is. It almost seems like a policy that the left would have implemented against the evil corporate, you know, like, hey, these big corporations, they don't want American workers. They want the cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, though. All right, so this Mew is really nice. Tora Karuta Mew. Let's see if we can find this Mew. It's got a nice goldenish border, unlike the other ones. Karuta Mew. How about Koro Mew? Let me check sold. I am just not seeing it. I like that idea. If you really want an employee and are desperate, they would pay the $100,000. Otherwise, employ someone from your own country. True, but yeah, it's an interesting thought. I think that the problem is you will probably ultimately lose out on some talent. I think you will. You'll lose out on some talent that you otherwise would have had. Maybe the H-1B visa workers will just go to another country, like somewhere in Europe or something, and then we miss out on all that talent. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I have mixed feelings. Mixed feelings. Okay. It's the 100K for the year, I'm assuming. I heard it's per year, so I don't know perfectly. I don't know all the details. Okay, so here's beautiful Mew for 400K. Oh. There's that Psyduck from this set. He's super cool, isn't he? The Psyduck's really special. I really like him a lot more. Thank you. I just read that. Last question. Is the price of the menu listed in AUD or USD? Great question. Those will be listed in USD. We are? All right, let's see. I wish they were in AUD. That would mean everything's a lot cheaper. If you're international, wanting to participate, some of the coolest stuff we have are the breaks, actually. They're really neat. And if you pull a slab for like 40 bucks, we'll claim that it's only worth 40 bucks when we ship it to you. That's what we'll do on the you know, when we ship it, because you have to claim it. Well, I don't know, man. I think I'll hold on to this. I think I'll hold on to this for now. Can't make up my mind on it. Let's see if we have another order in the queue. We have an order from Israel Rodriguez, 8 of the Dan to Dans. You got it, man. 8 of these. Duck fat is the best, and bacon fat and beef fat. Oh. I've been appreciating beef a lot more lately. I'm getting really, really lean cuts of beef. No fat on it at all. chopping it into nice small pieces, get it some nice seasoning. And it's kind of like beef jerky because it's not, you know, I always thought of beef as this thing you have to cover in butter and you have to get like the fattiest slice of beef. So every time I eat beef, it's like eating fried chicken almost. But you can just eat beef sort of like the way you eat chicken breast, and it's so much more satisfying. You don't feel like you're pigging out. So here's 6, 7, 8. So I've been eating some beef that way with noodles or with rice. We look for really lean cuts of beef, and then we just let it saute and in a little bit of oil, not that much, maybe just a little bit of olive oil, and then you just season it really well. You know, if you put it with like onions, the onions or mushrooms leak water into the pan, and you can like stir fry it basically. Boop. I like fat too on steaks. Yeah, so I always feel like you have to eat lots of fat on your steak. Like that's the goal, right? Like you want the really marbled steak. And then, Gordon Ramsay, you spooning butter onto the steak, right? A little rosemary or whatever it is. You don't have to do that. You can take a nice lean cut of beef, just like a chicken breast, cut it real thin, and then just season it well, and it's fine. It's actually fine. It's totally edible. It's not destroyed because it's not medium rare, covered in butter, covered in a half stick of butter or whatever, or 2 tablespoons of butter. Ready? All right. So we got 8 packs for you, Mr. Israel Rodriguez. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, if you make some beef like that, you could do like a little teriyaki seasoning or something of that nature, because there's a lot of seasonings like that. And then just stir fry it a little bit with some onions and mushrooms. You can put broccoli in there, whatever you want. Get them all nice and juicy, and then it's easy. It's not that bad at all. And I don't feel as bad when I eat the steak that way. When you eat beef as a buttery steak, you feel like you've eaten 1,000 calories off of your plate. But when you eat the nice lean beef and you just eat a little bit of it with something like a mashed potato or just like some kind of simple side dish, you really feel a lot better from that almost. It's weird. I feel lighter, like eating a salad almost. Like you're meant to have some protein, but eating like this huge, thick, buttery steak is like, man, it's like trying to digest fried chicken. Israel Rodriguez. Butter garlic ranch dressing, not doing it with butter. I'm skinny AF. Yeah, it's funny if you only eat meat. It's funny how hard it is to overeat that. You overeat ice cream. You overeat, chocolate. You overeat bread or donuts or cake. But if you were just eating like steak with like potatoes, oh my God, it's so hard to overeat that, because your body will be like, stop, this is terrible. You won't even crave it. You'll be like, nah, I don't want another bite of that. That sounds terrible. And it shows you that, being overweight is this interesting function of being addicted to the very high energy, very delicious foods like, like cookie dough ice cream or something. You know what I'm saying? That's the real issue, is you're addicted to cookie dough ice cream. You're not addicted to food. You're addicted to that ice cream. If you were addicted to food, then you would have another bite of that steak, another bite of that potatoes. You don't want the steak and potatoes. You want some ice cream. All right, so now we've got an order from Mr. Mark. 1 pack of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ghost of the Pasta. Let's get it, man. Ghost of the Pasta. Oh, what's this? Time to get some more Ghost of the Pasta. I gotta go get some more. Cool, another Mickey. Yeah, that's those nice bubblegum Mickeys. If it's a nice cut on the grill, marbled good. I do, however, actually do mix mushroom and butter and garlic. Eat that on the side. I'm slowing down on the too much oil, too much butter, and all that other stuff. I'm slowed down on that because I don't want to eat that many calories. I want to enjoy it, not feel like I'm eating 3,000 calories. All right. Butter garlic number 1. Not butter garlic. Okay, throwing this away. Throwing this away. Putting one of these on the table. Ta-da! I need oil and everything. Please, give me some oil. Ooh. Ghosts from the Future, the third haunting. But donuts are the best. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're good. That's the problem. They're too good. All right. Did I miss my draw on the third Halo pack? You bought a third one. Let's see. You're right after this order, okay? You're right after this one. Okay. So this one is for Mark. Thank you, Mark. Ready? By the way, if you guys are enjoying tonight's stream, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss it tomorrow, because YouTube will alert you when we go live. There we go. That's a cold pack. Sorry, man. Boop. Garlic butter. Buttered garlic is delicious. Garlic in general is good. Mr. Mark. Mr. Mark. Oh, I have a ton of pain in my left arm. There's something really wrong with it. It's not debilitating enough for me to go to like a doctor, but it really hurts when I use it. All right, let's see. Oh, here's some more news. So we talked about the H-1B visa getting super nerfed. And I mean really nerfed. Here's another piece of news. Asmongold's father passed away. That's sad. All right, I felt really bad about it. Okay, Mr. Jonas, one Halo pack. Excuse me. Asmongold is a guy who started showing up on my YouTube feed pretty much like this year. And I guess he has built up a lot of power in the algorithm or something, because I never searched for him even one time. He just has really good reach. It's interesting because he's kind of like a political speaker himself. He speaks a lot of politics, I notice. And it's weird because you just don't expect this guy to have that much influence, especially political influence. You go, ooh, hunters. Probably for his dad's passing. Here it is. Yeah, his dad's passed away. It's really sad. I think I'm going to need to take a break from this for a bit. From opening packs, man, those freaking ghost rares, man, they're crazy. Here's the Librarian. You take as much of a break as you need, Mr. Hawaiian Rifleman. I'm going to put you into the giveaway, okay, man? Appreciate all your orders and generosity. Let me put you in there. Yeah, you take as much of a break as you need, okay? That's a very important thing when it comes to enjoying Pokemon cards, pack openings. You pace yourself. Always want to pace yourself because you want to be able to enjoy it from time to time. So I'm going to put you in here, Mr. Mark. You're number 9. There we go. Ta-da! Yeah, his dad passing away, man. It's interesting. I heard about that, and that was in July. And so his dad, so it's in July, and I remember hearing his dad, because I actually watched a brief amount of that video. I heard his dad, asking for prayers, and he sounded really scared. I was like, oh, man. I did not expect he would pass away virtually like 2 months later. I mean, think about it. It's September now. So that was back in July. So he got to live for August and part of September. Wow. Wow. He was gone from the cancer right away. And that's scary, man. That's why all of humanity should just be working on that. Solving health problems, solving sustainability, making the quality of life better, entertainment. Those are all the good things about humanity. Entertainment's a good part. Collecting is a good part of humanity. It's fun. Look, an artist designed this. It's really cool. All this stuff with like the political assassinations, the war in Ukraine, all this stuff that's going on, it's so stupid. And a lot of it is very ego and power driven. And it's the inability to just sort of organize ourselves in a way that doesn't include the violence, you know. It is Mr. Jonas. Thanks, mister. No problem, man. All right. Yeah, you know, those packs you were opening, they're called Ghost of the Past, and they hand out something called a Ghost Rare. And those Ghost Rares can be 1 per case, 2 per case, 3 per case, but they are super rare. They're mega rare. And so they don't come out very often at all. And it's funny because you go a little deep, you go a little deeper, you go a little deeper, and it never shows up. And then the next guy pulls it with 1 pack. That's how it goes, actually. Troy's hopping off. He says, Mr. Have a great stream and day. See you all for tonight's stream, for the Saturday nighttime stream, I think he's saying. Have a nice day. He's punching into work. Have fun at work. How's it already 4 p.m. or 4 a.m.? It's 4 a.m. in the morning. Miss Jody said stage 4. Yeah. Corn Rule says something. He says, Asmongold is a great speaker and a modest guy. Very modest guy. You know, he has some way of talking to people that's effective. And when you study the guy, what stands out to me is he's a bit of a nerd. He's genuinely, he's not a Chad, right? He's not pulling hot bitches and all that all day long. He is not super egotistical. And I think that the problem is when too much of your personality derives from pride and ego, people understand that you're very partisan at that point, and they understand that you're just kind of running off of your emotions. I'm right. Listen to me. I'm right. You're the good. I'm the goodies. You're the baddies. Listen to me. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I think he has a certain modesty to him that isn't just in the way that he speaks, but just in the way that he looks and the way that he probably lives. He has a certain amount of modesty that really makes it easier to digest the fact that he might have an opinion about something. And you go, all right, well, I'm just listening to this guy that has an opinion. Now, I don't even really listen to his stuff. He's not like a guy I listen to, but I just notice. I notice how popular he seems to be. I notice how many views his videos tend to get. I notice he seems to weigh in on everything. And it's just really surprising because you've got all these other political pundits. It's weird to think that this guy Asmongold gets more views than somebody like Jimmy Kimmel or somebody like on CNN, the mainstream news. This is just some guy in his, bedroom with the political opinion, and somehow he's pulling in the views. Man, he's pulling in insane numbers that make your head spin. And I'd never even heard about him like till this year. So it's weird to see that kind of development occur, and just shows you how powerful the internet is. Do you sell packs through a website or just eBay? Hey, what's up, man? Well, we do sell stuff on eBay, but we actually sell stuff right here on the table, right here on YouTube. If you'd like to buy some packs, go to the YouTube description for this live stream. That's it. In fact, you can see I penned the message, menu and description. So we sell it right here. The price is in the menu, the YouTube description. That's where the prices are. And how to pay is also in the description. We have a very simple system. We don't use a website. You just send me money over PayPal or over CASHAPP or ZELLE or VENMO or whatever it is you've got. That's it. Super simple. Super simple. And this is the oldest YouTube rip and ship channel on YouTube. We were the first one. That's how I know we're the oldest one. Back then, it wasn't even called rip and ship. Here it is. It is. All right. Wow, player with huge fan bases. People know him from WoW. Payment methods in the description. Jib. Oh yeah, so these are nice vintage Playboy cards, and there's no nudity, so you don't have to worry about that. There's no nudity in here, but there is a Donald Trump vintage card in here. These are vintage cards from a long time ago, and there is a Donald Trump card somewhere, and he sells for a lot of money if you pull him. So we're looking for that. We're looking for Donald Trump. Trump! Do you ever think of taking that claim to Guinness or something like that? No. It's not that exciting of a claim. But, I think after 10 years, it'd be pretty cool. 10 years of a nonstop rip and ship channel, that'd be neat. I don't think that's necessary. All right. Playboy. I'd like the title for pair of scissors that cut it. Oh, there he is. You got it. All right. Wow. It'd be so cool to see. Ah, now see, he's got a little thing going on down there. That's too bad. I'd love to see one of these grade 10 eventually. Wouldn't that be neat? So if this grades 10, it's worth a lot of money. If it doesn't grade 10, it's still worth money. It kind of pays for itself, right? Like you paid some money to get these packs open. And nice, dude. All right. So that one, however, we can tell is probably not going to grade 10. How much is he worth? He's worth a little bit, maybe like 80 bucks. Now, see, look, this doesn't fit in here. Why is that doing that? I don't understand it. Okay, I'm throwing this top loader away. It's a side loader. Okay, how about this one? Will it fit into this one? 7, not even 8. It might be a 7. We don't know. But it could be a higher grade than a 7. There we go. So this is Donald Trump when he was much younger. And you can pull this card and have it graded with PSA. And it might go for a lot of money. It goes. All right. We've looked the prices up before. You can look for yourself. As an 8, it sells for like 80 bucks, I think. They have made movies about worse things. Maybe shop the idea of a documentary about your channel. Here we are. I don't know if I'm ready for a documentary about our channel. I don't think I'd wanted all the attention. It seems a bit pompous, if anything. Yes, our channel. Playboy. 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 Oh. Haha, I want to try that pack now. Yeah, and that's a common card, by the way. So there is a version of it where it's rainbow colored. If you pull that, ooh, that's some huge money. But it's much harder to pull that rainbow card. So if you pull a rainbow version of this and it grades 10, I don't even know. Could be like 10,000. I don't even know what that would go for. Could be some really bizarre amount of money. Because you'll notice as we open these packs, there's almost no rainbow cards. A rainbow card is a much higher rarity than these normal hollows. These are just standard hollows. Wow, she got a nice booty. Here's this lady. Here's this lady under a blanket. There's the Playboy bunny. And there's this lady going, peace. Okay, good. A real jackpot. I have PSA cards with bigger scratches. They've made movies about worse things. Haha, I want to try that pack. Gonna give it to my friend at the office if I get it. Yeah. Redheads. Yeah, redheads. Do you collect gold and silver too, or just cardboard? Believe it or not, I do have some gold and silver. I show it off from time to time. I believe I showed it off just the other day. I can't really be showing off a lot of gold and silver right now because we're in the middle of an opening. But yeah, see, we got some gold here. I got a gold coin that I'm collecting. Now, these prices are not correct. Don't try to buy these. These prices are probably a little older now. But we were selling a lot of gold around the time Trump started doing his tariffs. Here we are. Not because I thought the market was going to collapse, but it was actually because from a philosophical point of view, I started to realize how most of the economy is really just dependent on importing plastic made in China or India or something like that. And I was like, that's not real. I was like, you know what's real? Gold is real. And my theory was, you know, economies built on products that are just going to go into a landfill. You're just, it's a cool system and it makes some guys really wealthy. But what do they do with that wealth? I think they buy land, and then I think they buy yachts, and I think they buy some gold too. I think they buy a lot of stocks, obviously, as well. But let's say you wanted to sell out of those stocks and buy something. Would you buy cash or would you buy gold? You'd probably buy gold. Ooh. All right, let's see. Greetings from Australia. You got yourself a sub. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, Australia has the Perth Mint, doesn't it? One of my favorite coins is a golden coin from the UK. Ooh. There's some Australian guys that make videos of themselves opening up like millions of dollars of gold. And it's really cool. I've watched those. Here we are. Before I got into Pokemon, I was studying gold coin collecting. That's what I was studying at the time. And I guess that would have been okay. That would have worked for me too. Because gold is up quite a bit, especially very recently. Okay, here's the other junk pack. You ready? Yeah, gold and silver is a lot of fun. I take a bigger risk over here with the Pokemon cards, and that is so far paid out. So I'm a big Pokemon card fanatic, because when I was a kid, I was a very big Pokemon card fanatic. So it's all natural. It's just based off of old desire. Jose Trevino. All right. Wow. You've got a lot of stuff, man. Let's grab another bag for you. Best coins in the world from Perth Mint. You guys definitely have some really cool designs. You are. Very nice. I think the whole idea of coinage, you know, like minting and all that is, I won't lie, I'm like obsessed with it. Like I've watched hundreds of videos on how coins are made. I've watched them for hours. And I don't always talk about that, but yeah, I've watched like every video under the sun on how coins are minted because I'm so fascinated by it. And I've thought about using my money to buy like a small coin minting setup, just like we have an encapsulation setup. I've thought about being able to mint our own coins. Nothing complicated, just something small and cool. I actually watched kind of an amateurish setup in China, where much of it is sort of like handmade, but there's some of it's automated. And I was like, I could do that easily. I could make these coins like that myself. And so they were making like, they were silver bars in China, and they didn't have that expensive of a setup. The most expensive part of their setup is the actual inventory. You have to buy these big coils of silver, which probably cost thousands of dollars. But after that, they just have like these simple machines for rolling the metal, for getting the, you know, the exact width or whatever it's called. And then, you know, the coin cutting machine that cuts the, and you don't even have to do that. You don't have to buy the machine that cuts the blank. You can just buy blanks from a company that sells blanks and then just own a press. So yeah, it all really endlessly fascinates me. But that's more like just a fun sort of hobbyish kind of thing. I can't, I don't think I have the time or the money or the space for all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. You can get a hammer press. I bet you, like, I'm pretty sure you could just get a press where you crank it. You don't even, but yeah, that would be cool. A hammer, huh? Like you strike the coin like in the good old days or something. Adrian, he says 5 Spy Family. I also ended up learning a lot about collectible coins from that TV show Pawn Stars. I watched every single episode of Pawn Stars up to like season 20 something. I don't remember how many seasons there were. Is that officially over, Pawn Stars? They don't film that anymore? I don't know. But I watched all the episodes, and they often bring in special coins. Let me go get another box of Spy Family. How long have you been stacking metals? I gained a fascination with it a very long time ago. And then when I got a pretty good income from being a YouTuber, I was a video game YouTuber, not a Pokemon card YouTuber. When I started making like decent money over there, I had a plan to sort of like start investing in coins. But instead, I ended up doing Pokemon. But you can see I got a nice little chunk of coins here. That's silver. So like this right here, see? Now these are MS69. Here's a... We were selling some silver. We got some big, heavy, large silver coins too. But this is some silver. I was just showing this off. This is some silver from my grandfather when I was a kid. These were $6 when he gave them to me. These are silver coins. Look at the back of the card. You don't even recognize it because who the hell is... Not these. Let's see. Not this either. Where are the ones he gave me? Ah, here it is. Yeah, here we go. Look at this. Like, what even is this? Engelhard? Weird. So he gave these to me when I was really young, and the price of the silver at that time was $6. And he's a little kooky. He like buries gold in the yard. He's that type. He buries gold in the yard. He's waiting for the dollar to collapse, that kind of stuff. But so, you know, I like coins as strictly as a hobby. When it comes to finances, I'm all in on Pokemon. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble I enjoy. And I've done very well with that gamble, and actually shockingly well. There you are. Awesome, dude. Nice collection. Holy silver, 43 an ounce now. Yeah, during COVID, it was like 20-something. It was like 25 or 26. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me show you one more. Let me show you one more if I can find it, if it's over here. Is this it? Let's see if this is it. What are these? Just found some Charizards lying around, by the way. So these were lying on top of my silver, which were just like, look at these guys. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Crystal Guardians Charizard. I prioritized this Charizard because I knew he was unusually low pop. I knew he was. Silver is 65 an ounce in the Aussie dollar, and gold is almost 5,600. Oh, yeah. Well, did I show the gold coin, the main one? Let me show this one. Since you appreciate coins, I got one really good gold coin that I like. Here it is. This one right here. There it is. So that's the Queen's Beast. And it just sold an auction for 7,300. This exact coin. You can look it up. See that 3K? That's what I paid for it. Pretty wild. I paid 3,000 for that. There it is. Wow, Death Star. Yeah, so I got really fascinated with these Ultra Cameo ones, or Cameo, however it's pronounced. Little Death Star, little Death Star. These are probably up in value now because when I bought them, it was like a year or two ago. Oh, right. So see how this says poker? So there was this option where if you won one of the breaks on the table, instead of taking the Pokemon card, you could trade it out with this Queen Beast bull. And they turned down the offer. They didn't want the bull. So this is a super polished Queen's Beast. And it is 5 ounces of pure silver. And they wanted the poker card. They wanted the Blastoise, not the silver coin. But they could have had the silver coin. Here it is. But so I just keep these to myself, and I don't mind it because the price of silver is kind of going up. But here's one of my favorite cards right here. I actually, I did a DNA check, and I have some British, Irish, Scottish heritage. So I like getting these coins from the UK. They're really cool. And this is a dragon on this one. And look at the illustrious, is that the right word? Look at that beautiful detail on that. Isn't that insane? Wow. Is it illustrious? Or is it lush or something? The detail on it's so cool. They didn't claim the silver. They didn't want it. They wanted the Pokemon cards. I said, all right, more silver for me. That's all right. There are no scratches on the coin itself. Any scratch you see is on the holder, not the coin. That's NGC, the official grading company, right? You might recognize NGC because NGC is the same company as CGC. This is the same company, guys. CGC and NGC, they're the same. Pretty cool, huh? And they grade Pokemon coins now. Did you know that? I think most of you guys know that because I tell you these things. Do I have a Pokemon coin nearby? It would be nice if I did. Maybe this. Yeah, here we are. So, CGC and NGC, same company. And check it out. They grade these Pokemon coins now, which I was talking about how kind of important and relevant that was. I was like, hey, CGC's got a great reputation for coin grading, and they're grading these plastic Pokemon coins finally. And so you ought to get your best Pokemon coins graded. Now this is one of the most prominent Pokemon coins there is. It's one of the oldest coins you can collect because it's the Japanese base set coin. And so it came out before even the English version. I got a pristine on this one. And we sold one of them already, and so we had this one for sale for $750 and no one took it. But I have just a couple of these graded pristine 10. I got very lucky. I sent a bunch of them because I had them saved up. I bought the base set decks a long time ago with the theory that I should grade the Chansey coins with NGC. But when I sent them to NGC, they rejected them because they were made out of plastic. They said, we don't do plastic. Finally, it's graded and it's paying off huge dividends or huge payout because I did sell one of those Chansey coins and instantly profited. Finally, it took a long time. And then I just kept the rest because it pretty much paid for itself at that point. What do you think of that story, everybody? All right, let me get back to the queue. Sorry about all that. I have a broad range of interest in things. There we go. All right. I'm Polish and German, probably why I hate myself. Oh, Hey, I hear Poland's doing very well. I hear they're the powerhouse of Europe with the rising GDP. And they did it all with just Polish people. How is that possible? It's impossible. We are. All right. They didn't have Angela Merkel. Let me put this over here. Oh, I just found some more Yu-Gi-Ohs. What were we doing? We were getting Spy Family. All right, here we are. Ta-da! Leave alone the coin grade. Just the silver itself should have tempted them with the way silver prices are going up. You know, it wasn't doing that then. It wasn't going up that way back then. Because this was about a year or two ago. All right. So silver was cheaper, and it wasn't exploding. It wasn't making the news for going up. Okay, Mr. Exadrian. But that's how it works. When something goes up in price, that's when everyone wants it. But when it's going sideways in price and no one is sure whether it will go up or not, that's usually the best price you're ever going to get on that thing. So with Pokemon, what is something you're not sure is going to go up? Here's something you're not sure is going to... Oh, it already has, but like here's an oddball item. We're not sure if that's going to go up. Here's something you're not sure if this Toro Karuta is going to go up. The poker cards. Like this guy. You're not sure if this is going to go up above $165. But I guarantee you, if this was actually Ivysaur from the Leaf Green Fire Red TCG set, this card would be like $1,600 as a reverse foil or something, right? So he's very cheap because no one really knows if he's worth it or not. No one knows yet. It's still being questioned. But I mean, look at what's in front of your face. It's just a very good artwork. Graded PSA 10, population 6, 2004. All of the ingredients is there. The ingredients are there. And so that's where I place my gambles when it comes to Pokemon. I go, okay, you got the very conservative stuff like WOTC era. Like some stuff is really obvious. Let me show you an obvious one. This one's really obvious. This is so obvious. So you could buy Ho-Oh, but you're going to pay top price for Ho-Oh because everyone knows Ho-Oh's good. Here's one you don't know is good. Poker Charizard. You don't really know if this is good or not. He doesn't cost $4,000 already. So you don't know if that's good. And that's how the hobby works. And I've basically succeeded by understanding those kind of like mechanisms. The sort of human behavior side of invest, you know. When I bought this, no one was talking about it. Now I've got 5 of them, and the reverse hollows from Crystal Guardian are insanely expensive. Just subscribe. Speculation about Pokemon. Yeah, so that's what I've done. I shopped for Pokemon cards pretty much every single day. I want to say almost every single day of my life for the last 6 years. And that's all I do. And so I witnessed a lot of Pokemon price changes over the last 6 years. We're done with 6 years. We're on year 7 now. I witnessed a lot of price changes, and we just did our little stream here with our nice little community. Nothing too crazy over here. It's just us hanging out. But I've had massive success from all of my choices. And gosh, man, my worst choices have always been getting a little nervous about one of my decisions and then backing out of it. You know, because if I hadn't have backed out of some of my reverse hollow cards from the EX era, I'd have even more. I'd have more of them, you know. But I did sell some of them, but really not all of them. We were showing off like 3 filled boxes of reverse hollow stamped cards that are very nice. And they've all gone massively up in price now. Because my original idea that they were good-looking mainstream sets that were underprinted and underappreciated, that original opinion ended up being true. Gold stars became very important. and the cards from the Gold Star sets became very important. Here we go, Mr. Exadrian. Pokemon could fall flat, though. It totally could. Yeah, Pokemon can fall flat. Investing in racing horses, you know, that's a thing. That could go flat. Investing in McLarens and Lamborghinis can go flat. Marble statues, the Mona Lisa, it can all go flat. A solar flare could wipe out all technology, destroy Bitcoin, and your gold would still be sitting around, though, by the way. But yeah, it can all go flat. Gold could be mined off of the moon in the future. What if we start sending like super advanced mining machines operated by AI to the moon, and it finds an ass load of gold on the moon, and it's just pulling gold chunks off the moon and flying it back to Earth, easy mode. All kinds of crazy stuff. Maybe an asteroid hits the Earth and is full of gold. All kinds of stuff could happen. You just don't know for sure what's going to happen, and you kind of make some educated guesses. And Pokemon's out there. It's sort of a very risky move. But is it? Is it? If you were a young kid and you felt the fervor of the late 1990s, early 2000s with Pokemon, it's no surprise at all that as millennials are approaching 40 years old or older, they are, first of all, they're coming into a lot of disposable income. They're inheriting stuff from their parents as they pass away. And then what are they buying with that income? Pokemon. They're not buying the Mona Lisa. They're not buying marbled statues. They're not buying, well, they might be buying investable vehicles or something like that. But, so one thing that's really in their purview, though, it's really these right here. Just really important to young people, to millennials. Young, not really that young. And that was my prediction, and that's why I really went nuts on Pokemon, and I've told that story a lot of times. But it has paid out like crazy. Mr. Where are the Labubus? I'm getting Labubu! Maybe in 20 years, Labubu will be good. I think it's too early to be investing in Labubu. That was the same feeling I had for Metazoo. Although Metazoo's getting older now. But I don't know how many people loved Metazoo. It's definitely more niche. But Labubu is just too early. And so when I see Labubu, I go, maybe Labu not. Labu, no. Check this out. So the cheapest Crystal Guardians Charizard is now $25. That's really not that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. Because if we were to scan this... See, I always knew he was underpriced because I was like, only 5,000. Okay, check it out. Population 52. Not only is this card only population 52, you're looking at about 10% of all of them on this table right here. So they're really not 52 out in the ether out there, because Mr. Cardconomist is sitting on 5 of them, and he's not interested in selling in the least. I'm holding these for at least another like 10 or 15 years, or whenever they tell me I have cancer. Then I'll sell them. But let's take a quick look. I'll say, oh man, I better sell these. Okay, there's no sold information on this card recently. Nobody has the guts to buy them at that price, probably, but they will. They will see that they have to at some point. Did you get my Obsidian Flame order? Yeah, let's get that Obsidian Flame order. Give me a minute. Let's see. So we're yapping over here. I apologize. Let's get back to the queue. So we have Mr. Julio with 3 Korean Obsidian Flames. All right. And actually, those are sitting right next to me. I found some of these while I was cleaning up, and I said, we got to get those sold. He's got a point. You have gold and silver too, so I think that's great. One of the few card channels I mentioned gold on, and host pulls out coins. I've also sold a lot of coins, and look at this. I've dabbled in copper coins just for the fun of it. And you know what's funny, Mr. Hogs? These went up in price. These, I gained like $1 on these. I bought, I think, 200 rounds of copper. What you don't know is I have more of these stored away. This is just the one I have nearby. And they went up. They actually went up in price. It's just copper. It's not a valuable metal, and yet it is a construction metal, and there's a market price for it that goes up and down, and they went up. Very cool. Labubu has been around since 2015. It's had a good enough stay. I did not know that it's as old as 2015, but I would say it seems to have only gained relevance very recently. It is. I think that the idea of sort of like a booster pack for little, maybe like figurines or teddy bears, it's a strong idea. And maybe Labubu is the company that is doing very well with that. I don't really trust it to do super well long term. You know, like look at the bobblehead toy thing. What's the bobbleheads? Can't remember the name of those. See, I don't even know the name of them, which tells you how hard my brain holds on to them. Here's Mr. Julio. I think that the Labubus probably are good in the sense that they're something like girls will definitely collect. Like, do girls want to collect Charizard or do they want to collect Labubu first? Which one? And the answer might be Labubu. But also, I think that Labubu probably has not had a lot of good, strong competition either. Like, imagine Pokemon also gets into a Pop Mart kind of product where they've got stuffed animal, keychain, Pikachus, not just Pikachus, but all the Pokemon. And you open up a surprise box, a blind box, and out comes, hopefully, Gengar or Umbreon. Labubu will eat dirt like in 2 seconds. And so I don't think that they've had proper competition, essentially, because the idea of, you know, selling RNG loot boxes full of stuffed animals, it's still a relatively new idea in the West anyways. So you say 2015, that might have been over there or something, but not over here. It's only recently blown up over here. Jonas Gordon says 2 of the Trump booster packs. You got it, man. 2 Trump packs. God bless. I'll drop in when I can to hit your like button. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Yeah, this is pretty crazy these days. So it's, we live out in Lake of the Ozarks, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I've said before that one of the benefits of living in the middle of nowhere is you don't worry about as many crazy things going down. People are real crazy these days. All right, a lot of stress these days, you know. Think of how much nicer the world would be if everyone just calmed down and collected something in their home comfortably instead of freaking out and feeling like they got to go shoot somebody. We are. Definitely a mental health crisis. Even if guns were banned, you'd have to say there's some sort of crisis where people feel like doing that kind of stuff. Oh, now looky here. So that's one of those rainbow cards. You see it? But it's not Trump. So if you pull this rainbow card as Donald Trump, you're going to do extremely well. I think people would pay a lot of money for that card, especially if it graded high. If it graded by some miracle, if it graded 10, I'm telling you, we would clip the hell out of that. That would probably be a major clip on our channel. Okay. Is their website in order to order or to see what's available? So currently we do it all from the description of the live stream. That's how we've done it for about 6 years. You just check the menu and you'll see the prices there and you'll see the PayPal link. And that's how it's all done. Mr. Jonas, I'll go ahead and put this in the Jonas bag. And then I'm going to do the Jonas dance. Okay. Labubu, so many people getting fired and banned from platforms for sick Charlie Kirk comments. Yeah. Yeah, even if you don't like the guy, maybe just take a break. Go take a smoke break. And don't get fired. You are? All right. Do it because you're super intelligent and rational. Be like, I'm going to avoid getting in trouble. All right. Let's rotate these. I just learned Ms. Kiff was banned from Twitch for saying he was happy it happened. Jeez, man. Here's Ditto. Here's Gengar. All right. You know, people talk about wanting like civil war and all that stuff. And it's like, why? Why? Like, I get it. People don't like each other. They got ideas that are super against each other and all that stuff. But it's like, we've already tried civil war. And it's not awesome. And it's not necessary. Everyone just needs to cool down like 10 degrees and go have a cookie. Go climb into bed and pull the warm bed sheets over yourself. Have a nice nap in your country that's not in civil war, you know? Like, why give all this up? All right, let's grab the Poke Shuffles for Mr. Jose Trevino. Ooh. It won't solve anything, in my opinion. The deep rifts between the left and the right are deep personality, psychological personality type things that they will always come back. It's the same philosophical battles that every society has over and over again. And the trick, instead of going through the same philosophical battles that end in civil war every single time, the trick is to just be like, we don't do that over here. You guys can do that in other countries, but over here, we open Pokemon cards and go to bed in a comfortable bed. Those are 4 cold ones. But people are real heated up. Charlie Kirk was probably the lead speaker for the Republican Party, so it's not going to be a small thing. I think they just passed like a holiday or something for him. Wow. And that's not probably going to last. The moment a Republican is no longer in power. Julio Oliveira, one more Obsidian Flames Korean and a trick or trade. You got it. Civil War over? Oh, Civil War over what? Yeah, it's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. The whole idea is that the world is like making all these terrible choices that don't need to happen. And then there's this nice country called America where you're not having those problems and you just get along. You just get along and don't kill each other. So I think moderate America should take these people from either side who feel super, super violent, super activist, super crazy, and just douse them with cold water and say, get out of here. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. And that's, it's important for our leaders to do that. And it would not be a good thing if our leaders didn't do that. All right, but the leaders they can make mistakes, and that's not a good thing. All right. I wish that I still had all of the baseball cards from the mid-'60s that I used to put on my bike spokes with the clothespin. Oh, man. Some old vintage baseball cards from the 60s would probably go for a ton of money today. Ogre Pond. Yeah, it's it's fascinating the way that works. Like, who could have conceived that in 1996, this stupid little piece of paper from the Cardboard magazine would be worth over $100, 30 years later? You couldn't have guessed that. It's almost like just pure luck. You just don't know what's going to happen next. And even in 2023 and 2024, people pretty much thought that the idea of buying and holding Pokemon cards was a bad idea at that point because they had gone down a bit. So they were just quitting and giving up and selling all their cards online. And, I need to get out of this and I need to go buy Bitcoin and blah, blah, blah. And I've got nothing against Bitcoin, by the way. I think it's fine. But, they gave up on Pokemon too fast. And now they're all like, I had that card. Why did I sell it? I had that card. This time, that's not going to happen. That's my prediction. Next time the Pokemon market buckles and breaks and collapses and prices fall back down to where they used to be, I think when that happens again, a lot of smart guys are just going to see that as a buying opportunity, and they're not going to be as scared the second time. And so you're going to see this recovery on the second, whatever you want to call it, bear market. By the way, this is a pack break, and it's made a lot of progress. I think it's about halfway done. So I think on the next go, the Bowser break. Very nice for Poker Bowser. On the second round, next time Pokemon cards crash, a lot of smart guys are just going to hold their stuff and say, hey, I'm weathering this storm, but also I'm looking to buy up some of the best ones. And that's probably the reaction next time there's a real crash. I think the principal idea of collecting is not proven to be bad. The principal idea, the root idea, and the introduction of social media into card collecting, where Mr. Cardconomist, I can go take my collection and make a video out of my collection and get paid just to have cards in my collection because YouTube will pay me. I'll actually make money. So if I just have these cool cards over here, like this right here, and some others, and I throw these into a video and enough people watch it, I get a little paycheck from that. I mean, that's nuts. And so these do have a value. They have a show it off on your social media value now that's undeniable. And Leonhardt knows it, and PokeRev and all these other guys, they all know it. And so at the very least, there'll be a drive by social media influencers to be the ones to control, the most watchable cards, social media revenue cards. And there'll always be a demand for like the nostalgic vintage packs because, well, don't you want to make a fresh video of a new pack getting opened? It's like, yeah. And then somebody wants to watch that and pay to watch. They don't pay to watch it, but they watch an ad. And so they sort of pay. They pay with their attention. And so it's never going away. It's not about to die tomorrow. And the most important part is there's all these young kids who are participating in the Pokemon card frenzy right now. And they're like, my dad's crazy about Pokemon cards and he's getting me into them. And it's just going to keep looping, isn't it? I don't think it's going to stop looping. That's my theory. I could be wrong. I could be overestimating it. But I don't see a lot of things that are going to displace Pokemon right now. I don't see any strong competitors. You have like Pal World, and I don't think it's nearly as good as... Plus the fact that most of Pal World's doing well off the basis that they roughly stole Pokemon's design by sending it through like, I don't know, like an AI machine and said, hey, let me copy their homework, but make it a little bit different. Which that's a whole controversial topic. But, you know, so Pal World looks surprisingly similar to Pokemon, and they're like the closest competitor, and it's not that close. So I don't see anything. The only thing Pokemon could do is put out really bad games over and over and over again, which they probably will continue to do. I wish Pokemon would step it up. It makes me sad. It does make me sad. Come on, Pokemon, we give you all our money. Give us a hard mode. Pokemon doesn't even give us hard mode. They say, good luck. Nope. I think those packs were like a nickel a pack. I just ate the gum that came in it and made flippers for the bike with the cards. That's crazy. Yeah, I believe you, because when we look at old vintage cards like these Nintendo game packs, they all say like 25 cents. And as you know, these were made in 1989. That was 1989. So if you go back, you know, 29 years, what are they at that point? Yeah, nickel probably. So I am heavily tempted to crack these back out again. We sent these from PSA to tag grading, and tag grading actually lowered the grade. Oof. I'm going to go for it. I could be very sad and damage the card. I'm going to go for it, though. How much? Wait, let me check on the CGC website what a cross grade costs. Yeah, so it went from a 9 to an 8.5. So just so you guys know that. By the way, that's very valuable to learn that. So you're here talking with me, a guy who messes with this stuff all the time, and now you know a secret piece of information that this guy experimented with cross-grading tops cards, and the grades went down, not up. So their grading was tougher than PSA's when it came to tops. So if you see like a tag 10 tops card, go ahead and buy it. It's not a problem with it. So here it is, the submission form. We're heading over to the CGC submission form. Do you think CGC will rise up? I have talked about what CGC could do to improve their positioning. I said CGC, what the hell? It's like their webpage is stuck. Oh, okay, start new order. Their website's been updated a little bit. Jumbo card. Did they always do jumbo cards? Okay. All right, I want to see. Okay, so here we go. So crossover, any grade, same grade. Okay, we'll do same grade or higher. We'll do agree. Does it have to be in a PSA holder, though? So their crossover price is not that bad. Yeah, their crossover price is pretty cheap. I'm worried that if I send it to them as an 8.5, that they will actually scrutinize it harder. They won't let it jump all the way up to a potentially a 10, which is what I'm interested in. Oh, I need time to think about it. It's hard, man. It's hard. Like, it's all about what you want to risk. Is Ace grading good? Ace is British. Send it in cold. It's safer to have them cross it. because then I don't have to crack it. But this is another thing. Oops. Cross to CGC. Here's the thing. They didn't mention tag slabs. And I noticed tag slabs, of all the slabs, tag slabs are the hardest to crack. Their plastic is very brittle. And so as you're cracking it, it all falls apart in a very bad way for the card inside. So it's actually dangerous to try and crack these yourselves. And I wonder if they have a system for cracking cards that's really wonderful and effective. And so I'd rather have them do it if they have that. And if they don't, and if they don't prefer to crack tag slabs, maybe I prefer to do it, you know. Someone made a diss track on the owner of Ace Grading. These slabs are so cool, says Automation Hulk. Thanks, man. Well, I'm glad you are enjoying the stream. We have this $400 giveaway, by the way, guys. Did you guys notice this? It's up to 9 out of 20 now. If you want to participate, you got to do two things. Smash that subscribe button and then type TCC into chat. I'll give you guys a second to do that. We're going to hand out another spot in this right now. How long have we been live? We've been live for 3 hours. Wow, so that means we are done. We got a little over 2 hours done for the daytime today and then 3 hours done for the nighttime. That's a total stream time today of 5 hours. We can keep going, but I don't see any orders in the queue. We might just wrap up here. I've heard different things about tag, like the QR code to give you the Y of your card grade, but I have heard of cards switching into artificially inflated prices by having quotas on 10s. Oh, I doubt that that's... the artificially inflated prices, I don't know what that means. Like, do you mean like on eBay? And on eBay, what you find is sometimes tag slabs actually cost more than PSA slabs. Now, there's a simple explanation for that. Not a lot of people have a tag 10 of that card, but there's a lot of PSA 10s of that card. Why? Because people grade with PSA more. That's the simplest explanation. As for the quotas, no, I mean, I wouldn't say that the cards felt like they were graded unusually. You know, like if a card's worthy of a 10, it gets a 10. They are pretty harsh on vintage, I notice. Yeah, they're not an easy company to get a 10 with at all. It's just, you got to have a good card. And then what was the other thing? Card switching. I don't know how true that is either, but I have heard all of these accusations for pretty much all of the grading companies. So how about the card switching? What happens there? I can explain that. They put these cards in the huge, think about it, they receive millions of cards. And so you have to imagine every once in a while, one probably gets misplaced or swapped by accident, not because of some nefarious thing, but because they have too many cards on hand and maybe it falls out of a box or something with some other cards and then they just put it in the wrong box again or something like that. Like, I know these things happen because I've worked with cards for a long time too. Why do you think I'm so adamant about putting your name on every single bag I create for you? Is because if you ever, for some small reason, some small chance, move that bag to the wrong spot, you suddenly don't know whose bag it is anymore. And so they might do that with a card they're grading too. So that's possible. But they're not the only company that's been accused of that. PSA has been accused of that multiple times. And everyone gets accused of the fake 10s, especially BGS, man. BGS gets, they claim that about BGS all the time. BGS is fake. The black labels are fake. They just hand it out. Okay, Mr. Marquette, you're making it on. All right. Good luck over there, Marquette. You now have a 1 in 20 odds to pull this Pikachu completely for free. And everyone else is still wishing to get on this list. There it is. I'm pretty sure the places would have cameras set up everywhere watching their every move. If mistakes happen, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. A camera can miss small details and stuff like that. Cameras can help. But unless a camera is really focused in on the exact item and what's happening, it's not perfect. Like CCTV cameras or whatever they're called, they don't record in super high def because if you did, that takes a ton of processing power. It takes a lot of electricity. If you're storing that information, it takes a gigantic database to store months of high def information. So it's all low def, it's all blurry. Actually, just like the shooter that just shot Charlie Kirk, they're like, why is it so blurry? Well, because that's just normal. So, if they got cameras set up for their processes, that's great, but it's probably not high def. And then, if you're just pushing a cart full of cards around and a card falls off the card or something, again, that's how a card gets swapped or misplaced. The camera might not be able to explain exactly what went wrong. And it could also be like trying to find a needle in the haystack when it comes to actually finding that moment where a card gets swapped. But yes, also it could be a nefarious employee going, wait, I want this card. It's not impossible. That could happen, but, you know, it likely is not happening. It's likely a mistake. That's the easiest and simplest explanation. Because as these companies deal with millions of cards, they're going to make mistakes. Just like sometimes they crush your card during the encapsulation process. I get it. You know, you're encapsulating. Think about a guy, he clocks in and he's got one job, encapsulate these cards in plastic all day. And he does that every day of his life for years. You don't think he's going to crush a card eventually? Sure he is. Definitely. I mean, how did he not crush a card? He'd be like some insane robot if he didn't. So, you know, I used to get really pissed off at the grading companies. I'm a little older and more mature now. I get it. I get it. They make mistakes. They make mistakes. They crush cards. They lose cards. Stuff happens. And actually, I sent in a really nice Halo card, and it came back with a 9. I'm like, what the hell was wrong with it? There was a big thumbprint on it. That's not my thumbprint. For the love of God, I don't touch the surface of those cards because I know exactly that they leave a thumbprint. I mean, I'm actually incredibly careful with them because of my hyper awareness of the thumbprint problem. And so it's got this big thumbprint on it, and it's this big chase card from that set. And I don't even know how to fight that. Like, I don't know how to tell them, hey, I'm pretty sure your guy put a thumbprint on my card. Like, what am I going to do? Like, thumbprint myself in the card and prove it to them and then demand money or something? Like, I don't even know. So I just accepted it as a part of the game. I take a lot. This card broke during shipping. Look at this one. Probably should have claimed this one already, but this is a PSA 10 Ace of Spades Mewtwo, but unfortunately they shipped it to me and it arrived cracked. And this was just their bad shipping guy. It cracked. I don't cry about it though. I mean, I had a lot of the cards in the submission and they generally make me money. And sometimes PSA breaks your card or loses it or screws up. I don't cry over it. I don't freak out anymore. I used to. It's like I'm older and more used to it, and I get it. It's just, you know, it's just the nature of things. Things go wrong, and that's part of working with Pokemon cards, unfortunately. All right, it's the cost of doing business. A little bit, yeah, a little bit. That one's the mail service. Well, you could say it's the mail service, but you could also argue that maybe PSA has not shipped it in a way that's sufficient enough to protect the cards. You know, so you can make some arguments. But it just happens, and I don't let it bother me anymore. Now, if it was like Gold Star Charizard, yeah, they're going to get a call. But, you know, and then you got to start fighting over something like that. But in general, I don't get so emotional about it. I accept that it's like life. The world's an imperfect place. And card grading is all about perfection. So it triggers you when something goes wrong. But you have to remember you're in the real world. And it's okay to let go of that OCD a little bit and accept when a flaw occurs. Here's Andrew Martin. He says he'll take a live custom. Hey, Mr. Andrew, thank you so much. Here goes. So this is the live custom, a chance for a slab. It's $20 chance for a slab. One cold Totodile. So that's his pull out of the box. What do you do? Okay, so Socrates. Painful. It's an expensive ass card, though. I don't think the police would fingerprint a card over a grade. Well, you know, so I could have fought with PSA and been like, how dare you? Your guy clearly touched my card and put a fingerprint on it. That's not my fingerprint. I don't ever touch the surface of holographic Topps cards ever. And I do that specifically because I'm trying to grade 10s with you. How dare you? You ruined my card. And I could make all that stink. And I could spend an hour on it. Or I could just send out another submission. You know what I mean? And so for me in that scenario, it was worth it to just be like, all right, whatever. And I scratch it down as PSA screwed me over. And then I'll grade with CGC. CGC will screw me over. I grade with Tag. Tag will probably do something disappointing at some point. They haven't yet, but they probably will eventually. And I'm ready for that. It's not going to bother me that much. It's not going to make me think, oh, these grading companies, I'm never going to grade with them again. That's just not going to happen. Do you happen to open my Gundam packs I sent 30 minutes ago? Emmanuel Valencia. Hey, what's up, Emmanuel? I do not see that order. So let me go into my PayPal. You said you sent a Gundam packs order 30 minutes ago. Very fascinating. Let's take a quick look at that. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Let me get a Pikachu Ace spot, says Mr. Lewis. Hey, how's it going, Lewis? Okay, we're logging it over here. It says sales are up 37%. That doesn't make sense. You know what I think that is? I think that's that big Celebi order that we got from CS-Min recently. All right, so I just assumed you ordered on PayPal, but I'm not seeing it. Are you sure you hit? Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, 5 Gundam packs. Oh, did you order this before we were live? Because it says I went out to eat after you ordered it. Or no, that's when it got processed. That's interesting. Okay. No, it says you did order it maybe around. Okay, so let me go grab those. Weird. Maybe it just got processed by PayPal at a strange time. Because right next to your order is actually the payment for our dinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strange. Ow. All right, what do we got? Next card graded by the accused company is guaranteed to get a 4. We are. Yeah, there's a lot of hatred toward the grading companies sometimes, and I think it's fair to scrutinize them. I also think you have the ability to shop around for the company that you think offers you the best deal, the most value, the most trustworthiness. If a company doesn't treat you well, they're going to lose your business, that kind of stuff, you know. So, but the concept of encapsulating cards, getting a third-party perspective on the quality of the card, and hopefully getting some good authentication, all that's really valid. And we live in a time period where people are trying to make fakes really badly, and so that authentication is more important and valuable than ever before, despite the fact that sometimes the grading companies fail to catch it. Ooh, a nice LR. Ooh, konnichiwa. Whoa. Okay, it's unfortunate, but wow, you got the CS++. What? What's going on here? Let's get a zoom. It's got some like gold embossing. So beautiful. Gundam. And look, C++ there. How expensive is this one? Patience pays off. Look at that, man. Cool. All right, and here's your LR sniper looking dude. Dang, that's sick. Yeah, we have more of this. We actually have a whole nother sealed case of this product. It's been surprisingly popular. So we're going to keep an eye out on Gundam product from now on for those who like Gundam cards. All right. Dadgummit, my phone crashed and I missed what you said past hatred. I said hate leads to jealousy. All right. And that's for our good friend, Mr. Emmanuel. Let's go find your bag. This is for sale. Just a really big item. Doesn't fit on the table super easily. This is also for sale because Mr. CSman was thinking about putting it into slab away, but he did not. There it is. All right. He's gone really deep on cards recently, so he's probably just taking a quick breather, I bet. How can you go that deep for so long? It's too much. Yeah, he spent a lot on Pokemon cards this last week or so. Because I only see what he spent with me. I believe he probably spent more than that. Wow. That's the kind of bag that makes people's heads spin. They go, oh, man. Ah. Girls like a guy with a thick sack. Okay, you got baggie number 1. CS, man, you went deep, huh? Good for you, man. All right. Now you just have to not chicken out when the market drops. Don't chicken out, CS, man. You got to stay in. There we go. It's going to happen, I promise. The market will go back down at some point, and you will be tempted to sell everything and buy crypto. You'll say, oh, man, look at crypto. It's going up faster than Pokemon. The stock market's going up faster than Pokemon. I should have bought something with dividends in it. There it goes. These are the same things that stopped people from buying Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like 15, 20, 30, 40,000. That's the same reasoning. All right. You got to have the stomach for it. Mr. Zach says 2 prismatics. Okay, 2 prismatics, which are right here. Have you opened much of the solo leveling cards? Thinking about getting some for my buddy who loves this show. Yeah, we have a freshly opened case, and not too many boxes have been pulled out of it, and there's like 40 booster boxes in one case. It's a huge amount. That's how it kind of works with that set. So it's not like with Pokemon, you get like 6 boxes, and that's it. With this product, it's like 40 boxes. So we got a lot of that product left. I think it's like $5 a pack if you want some. And I think is it 8 packs per box? I can't remember. Is it 10 packs per box? I paid for 2 of the Donald Trump packs. I forgot, says Mr. Jordan. Hey, what's up, Mr. Jordan? Let me show you your pulls there. So, Jordan, I know you're pretty new. Here you are. You have your 2 packs right here. And neither of these had the Donald Trump card in it. So you just got the standard Playboy cards. None of them are super crazy to look at. They feature women from the 70s. Actually, even from beyond, like the 1960s or something. They're all grandmas now. There it is. They had their fun. Now they've gone through menopause. Maybe they're still having fun. I hope they are, actually. All right. But now they got to have fake teeth. That's how it works. And it'll happen to you. Here's Archulodon. Ooh. Okay. Very nice. What is this music? Ew. This one's called Dancing on the Moon. Skip. All right. And, oh, that's actually pretty good. Oh, yeah. Ursaluna. All right, I'm going to spoil it for you, though. I hate to do this. I saw it immediately. Look at that little notch right there. God dang, dude. You just can't win. It's actually really flat, but when you tilt it, it's a lip. God, dude. You just can't win. You just can't win. That's why these 10s are so nice. The brakes already come with 10s. That's why they're so nice. But, man, that's crazy. It's so hard to pull an SIR, and then you do, and then this... Yeah, dang scissors, screw you. The not my scissors, but the scissors at the manufacturing company, they probably don't use scissors. They probably use gigantic blades. And the machine cuts the card. This is another one of those, that's another one of those sleeves that doesn't want to, I'm going to just toss this away. My gosh, man. Actually, is it even worth putting it in a top loader? I don't think it is, because it can't grade 10. And these cards, we used to never put them in top loaders, no matter how expensive it was. We only started doing that recently. Here we are. The way we store these cards is perfectly safe. All the cards I grade, they get stored in bags. All right. I have the same issue with the Rocket cards. Okay. Oops. This pack on the left, by the way, that's a Nintendo Series 2 packs. Hyper rare pack. Extremely rare. That right there. Very cool. You can put it on your mantle and be like, look at that. I got a piece of Nintendo history. Thank you, Mr. Zachary Stekskowski. We also have an order from Danny Santamore. Slab away on the Arceus. On the Arceus? Oh, do you already own the card? Hold on, let me take a look. He might already have it in slab away. So, Danny, I think your stuff's all packed up and it's getting picked up by the mailman tomorrow. Yes, you've already got it. $40 remain. Boom. All right. Pull these back down real fast. Okay. I opened and got new, but the corner was bumped. Mister, are you a pickle pizza kind of guy? Pickle pizza. I do like pickles, and I do like pizza. I don't normally put a pickle on pizza. I'll have anchovies on pizza. Yeah. Anchovies are good, man. Okay. Now we've got Mr. Steven. 2 more junk packs. You got it, Steven Gonzalez. You ready? These are the $3 junk packs that I just kind of put together using junk that's laying around. Let's take a quick look. A little Munchlax, some hollows from Attack on Titan, some Pokemon hollows, some Final Fantasy cards, some Digimon. You got Beal Starman. That might actually be worth a few dollars. And then Sunomon. There you have it. Happy to see this stuff go. Got way too much of this stuff. I don't even know what it is. Caterpie. Some more hollows. Ace SR. Some more hollows. Some Final Fantasy. Some girl cards. There you have it. Those were pretty good, actually. I felt like those were really thick. I must have been stuffing some heavier ones on those rounds. There it is, Mr. Steven. I bought 2 more of those Donald Trump cards. Sounds good. It's not super easy to pull the Donald Trump out of them, but it's very satisfying when you do. And he is not considered a rare card in the set. Think of it like the whole set might have like 70 cards in it, so maybe your odds are 1 in 70. See, or I don't know how big the actual loot table is, but he's like a common card, but you have to go through all the common cards to run into him one time, I bet. Andrew says 2 Paldea evolved, 4 Poke Shuffles. Oh, okay, okay. We're taking some shots at Pokemon now. So 2 Paldea evolved. Looking for Magikarp, obviously. So the Magikarp from this set still selling for a remarkable $2.5 thousand, which is a shockingly high amount. Magikarp. This Magikarp was a big reason why Scarlet Violet started shooting up in price. It was because people started to notice the unusually high price on this Magikarp. So let's choose ended recently. All right. This sold yesterday for $2.6 thousand. Wow. Shocking. That's a modern card selling for $2.6 thousand. It's not even meant to be rare. It's just, it is though. It is rare. It's hard to pull that one. The ARs became the hit cards. Pokemon must have taken notice of this by now. Unintentional hit card. Notice how it's also from Gen 1. It is ironically, maybe not ironically, but it is unsurprisingly not one of these new Scarlet Violet designs. Need Sleepy Raichu. Sore today, I did a lot of long shift and makeup hours, had a heated discussion with my boss because he thought I enjoyed being a janitor, almost walked out, etc., etc., another week. Don't walk out, man. Don't do it. You got this, man. Go home, listen to some music, and don't let that guy get on your nerves. And when you're ready to get a new job, do it the smart way. Pick up the new job and then quit the other one by doing the 2 weeks. All right, let's see. People are jerks, man, especially bosses. Bosses, I don't think they always appreciate like how important it is for them to not be insane to be around. There we go. Because a boss can like make or break the quality of a job. There we are. So that's the 2 Paldea evolved. Let's go check your Poke Shuffles. There you go. All right. It's almost like bosses shouldn't even exist, you know? There should be like an AI scheduled task manager, and it's just a robot that tells you what to do and when to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you bring in a boss, and it's just like a guy who, what is he, like a motivational speaker? Like, what is a boss exactly? Is he somebody who's there to get angry at you and tell you you suck? All right. Is he just there to monitor you, like a security camera, but with legs instead of wheels or something? That's crazy. All right. I never liked bosses. But, you know, it's because I never needed them. I was, like, crazy. I would just go do all the work, and the boss would just be in my way, and I didn't like that feeling. There we go. Boss would be all snooty. That's a cold round. Just there to micromanage to make sure you're doing your job. Yeah, they're good. They're good sometimes. I had really good bosses, actually, at Coca-Cola. And you know why they were so good? Because sometimes they would come do your job for you, and they would, like, show you up. They were clever, dude. So it's like, holy cow. They were like the Shogun. They weren't just in charge of you. They were as good as you were at your own job. So you will have instant respect for them. And that's because Coca-Cola, they promote people from within. So the people who are now the managers, they used to do my job. So they're really good at it already. And so they would say, today you're just shadowing, and I'm going to do your job for you, and we're just going to hang out and have a good time. And they would show like best practices and stuff like that. And then they'd be gone. They'd be like, all right, have a nice day. And, you know, they were really good. They were actually more like motivational speakers. Are you ready? All right, Steven Gonzalez. 2 more junk packs. We got Clefable. We got a little bit of these Star Wars. This is an empty pack of the Nintendo game packs, and I thought this might actually be fun to take home. Here is some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, you know, when you see the manager and he's capable of doing your job as good as you do it or better, and their whole, like, version of managing you is for you to take a break that day and just watch them do the work. That's pretty good management. It's surprisingly good. Here's Vileplume. You're like, oh, sweet. You mean I don't even have to work today? Nope, you just watch me work. Samurai, Hitholodius, Gog Magog, Adele, Green Toad, and King Boo. My first ever job, $10 an hour in 2011, and made every job I ever had after that feel unbelievably easy. Merchandising is crazy hard work. Wow, so I was a Coca-Cola merchandiser, and I was paid $12 an hour starting out, and it was a tough job. It was kind of a dangerous job because you could drop a pallet of water on top of yourself, but it was like a job that required speed, strength, and accuracy, and you couldn't mess up with that forklift. And you used many different forklifts, perhaps a forklift that you were using for the first time that day because you're going to a store you've never been to. And that was the exact job. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper, or 7-Up, they all need a worker called a merchandiser who goes to the large retail shops and takes care of their soda. Because the workers at those stores don't do it. There's a contract where Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper do it. There you go. That's exactly what I did. Pallet jack starting at 3 a.m. That's right. You woke up at 3. I would play Sun Kill Moon, and I would drive out sometimes to the middle of nowhere in the pitch black, and I'd be listening to like Sun Kill Moon music on the radio, trying to stay awake because it was so quiet and comfortable at night at 3 a.m. You'd arrive at the crack of dawn, 4 a.m., pitch black outside. That's not the crack of dawn, but when you were done, it was the crack of dawn. And, everyone's in their work mood. And yeah, I'd have the audiobook playing. I talk about doing a lot of reading, right? Doing a lot of audiobooks. And guess what I was doing during that time period? Working for Coca-Cola. And so I had my iPod and I downloaded every book I could off of Pirate Bay. And so I listened to like all the self-help books. And anytime I found a good one, I'd listen to it over and over again. So if I found one I really liked, I'd listen to it like 7 times. And, and then I'd have it all memorized, and it was like really leaving a strong, not like just re-listen to it once. I'd be like, man, let's listen to this for a week. And you'd listen to the same book over and over and over again until the good ideas were stuck in your head. Okay, Mr. Jonas, 2 Donald Trumps. It's so nice working by yourself, though, with the iPod. And yeah, and I guess the work kind of made that possible for me, But, it gave me an appreciation of the importance of like doing some reading, doing some audiobooks, because there's guys who are all, especially if you're younger, by the way, because there's guys in the world who are very smart, they're very wealthy, they've sort of figured life out, they've figured the game out, and now they just like writing books and telling you what they learned. And so you can just absorb all their best ideas. You don't have to go figure it all out on your own. Within your short lifespan. So when you're a young man absorbing all the best ideas, it's like this, it's like it's like if you're playing a really tricky video game and then suddenly you watch a guide on how to speed run it and you pick up all the tricks and you're like, dang, dude, I was doing this the hard way. Here's Playboy. Or I just wasn't making smart decisions or had a bad strategy. And so it really made a very big impact on me during that time period. Because I worked there for 2 years, and then I quit to go back to college. I went to a full 4-year university and went for my computer science degree. All right. Sounds like the game economist. Who's that guy? I was nicknamed college during training because I was literally 18, 19, and they're all much older as their career. Aries' album grew on me like debt after a free trial. Bought the black and red LP. What? Here's Playboy. Karis and I were listening to it in the car, and she liked the one song with the girl singing. Here it is. Is computer science hard? It is. It is so much more difficult than any other subject than perhaps mathematics and engineering. They're all math, engineering, and computer science are all kind of in a group together, much more difficult than any subject in school. And I would know that because I took them all. We had to take an intro to engineering. We had to take the mathematical courses. You had to take, of course, a lot of computer science courses. But I also took a lot of business courses, the soft sciences like social science, worthless classes you really don't need like creative writing. Who goes to school for like a music degree? Who does that? Because it's like if you need a music degree, you're not going to be Michael Jackson. You think Michael Jackson needed music theory to write the world's best music? No, it comes from him. But anyways, yeah, so there's a lot of classes to take, and computer science is some of the worst because you actually have to sit down and like write code, and the man hours for that homework, like even if you understand it, because sometimes it's tricky to understand, but it's not too bad. But even if you understand it naturally without getting too much help, the man hours of writing a software for your degree is horrendous. It's like 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours of work. Compare that to like writing an essay, which takes like 30 minutes, or doing your math homework, which takes like 3 hours maybe, depending on how good you are at it or how well you understood it. No, software, there's no fast way to do it. If your professor sits down and says, you're going to make a car database, and I'm going to be able to pull up your database on a website and then type in the name of a car and it's going to find it. And then he says, have this done over the weekend. You don't get to do anything for the next 3 days. You just code all day long, like a crippled person who can't move out of their bed or something. You'll feel crippled by the amount of time of sitting you're done doing. And then you have it done or you don't. And if you don't have it done, you lose massive points. So it's really horrible, the amount of work they make you do to get that degree. It was really awful. And I'd already had a degree, if you didn't know that. So by the time I went for the computer science degree, I had already completed an Associate of Arts at the community college for business. And business, in comparison, is a joke. You just learn a bunch of keywords mostly. Tai Hua, slab away payment. You got it, Mr. Tai Hua. Yeah, in comparison, if you go for a business degree, they're going to have you, they're going to introduce you to a lot of great ideas. And nothing wrong with the business degree, by the way, guys. But it's so much easier. Like, you just memorize a ton of keywords mostly. You might take like an ethics course. You got to learn some ideas. You have to show you understand the ideas. You know what I mean? Computer science is like, code this massive software thing and have it done in a week. I was like, oh my God, how am I ever going to complete this? All right, so let's see. The Do It song is amazing. Yeah, Kirst really liked it. She thought the girl sounded really pretty. Medical said, I had to quit for college too. I tried doing Coca-Cola in university, but it felt no time for fun. It was just not possible. Oh, that's exactly what I went through. So you and I went through a similar experience. I was working for Coca-Cola in St. Charles, Missouri. Where were you at? So anyways, I was doing really well in the company. They really liked me. They kept putting me on fancier and fancier routes until they put me on basically the wealthiest route in Missouri. And it was me and another guy named Joe. And we pretty much exclusively worked those routes. So they really liked me. I mean, I was super intense about it too. Like the organization level in the back room, perfection. The organizational level on the floor, again, perfection. And here was my trick. There is no clocking out. You just stay clocked in the whole day. There's no clock out. There's no time limit for how long it would take to get a perfect back room and a perfect shopping floor. So I didn't care how long it took. If it took 16 hours, it took 16 hours. I didn't have any kids. I'm a young guy. Obviously I want the money, but I wasn't slow about it either. Like I didn't ever go slow. I was always really fast about it, but it just took a long time to perfect it. And they noticed that like crazy. And I was getting like big recommendations by the merchandiser, or not the account managers, all wanted me on their routes. And so I was very popular. And so at some point, I'm working these Clayton routes in the St. Louis area. And it was kind of scary too, because like the manager, everybody's tall, by the way. The moment you work in a rich place, everybody's freaking tall. There's suits everywhere. They start sending me to like these specialty meat shops, so places I've never heard. Strauss. Yes, welcome to Strauss. We serve meat and cheese and wine. And we have a little Coca-Cola rack over here. So you just sent all these crazy places. And it was really cool. And I felt like I was on the verge of, reaching a promotion into being the account manager. So I felt that I was close to that. And then I kind of studied their income was like 40,000, 40 to 50,000. And I said, I'm going to school, baby. I'm going to school. We're going to do computer science. And I'm going to make 100,000. So that's what I did. And I only had the confidence to do that from all the books I was listening to. All the books kind of encouraged me to sort of take a bigger risk than what I was going to do. I was going to take a small risk and just stay with Coca-Cola. And I took the bigger risk and I went with college. And it was a big risk. It was a big student loan. But that was where I met Karis in the computer science department. And then when I graduated, I took another risk when I decided to do YouTube. That was another big risk. I just finished spending all this money I just finished spending all this money on a degree to do what? To get like a stupid YouTube job. Like a guy living in his la fantasy land who just wants to play video games all day. And it worked. It worked. It worked. I ended up getting a nice big channel, The Gameconomist. And then it got converted over here, obviously, into The Cardconomist. And it all worked out fine. It all worked out fine, weirdly enough. But that was another huge risk. I didn't have to take that risk. I could have just been some database software engineer, which is what our college kind of specialized in databases, by the way. And so I could have just done that. I mean, I actually had some experience on it, too, on my resume after that first job with Tech Systems. And I threw all that away to make $5 a day on YouTube. And man, it's a risk take, it's a big risk. Of course, I had rules. I told Karis, I said, I'll do it for this long, and if I don't see any progress, I'll quit. I'll go right back and go right back to software engineering. So I didn't do it for even longer than a year. Then my channel exploded. I worked extremely hard. I was like editing for like 16 hours a day, I swear to God, because I'd already learned how to do that at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had already taught me how to do that. 3 cold ones, Mr. Jose Arredondo. That was 3 cold Poke Shuffles. Sorry, Mr. Jose Arredondo. Obviously, I'm talking my head off. But let's see. I feel exactly the same. After college, my opinion is that college is to prove you can complete a task. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's a lot of that in college for sure. You definitely don't use all that information at all. No way. No way. It's like, how good are you at testing, really? And how much money do you have? And how much of it can we have? All right, Mr. Steven Gonzalez, 1 more junk pack. You got it, man. But so I took that big risk, and I turned down a contract job that Tech Systems came up with. And they're like, hey, we've got a contract job for you to be a entry-level software engineer for this company. And I could have taken it right then and there. And Karis didn't hear this conversation. This was a phone call that I took from Tech Systems. And they're like, we've got it. We got the job for you. You're going to be you're going to be a starter software engineer with this company for us. And da-da-da-da-da, right? And I said no. And I actually told the guy over the phone, I said, I'm going to do YouTube. And he's like, really? And I was like, yes. Here we go, Steven. Actually, he and I had a lunch with each other, me and the guy who was supposed to work on me and get me a contract job with another company. And I was telling him at the time that I had a YouTube channel that was kind of growing a little bit. And he found that really interesting because he also was working on a YouTube channel. And so he was like asking me, like, what's the trick? And I was like, I don't know if there's really a trick to it. It's just sort of like work extremely hard. Like it's hard to describe what the trick to it is. I mean, there are YouTubers who are like magic, like Asmongold. We were just talking about him. He gets a humongous audience. I don't get that audience. So there are YouTubers that they have cracked the code on entertainment. They can entertain huge audiences. They appeal to everybody, and it just works extremely well. And so I didn't have that level of success, but I guess you don't have to have that level of success. Next up, you have Andrew Martin, and he says he'll take 5 Poke Shuffles. He says, this time with feeling. Ooh, let's see what we got. 5 Poke Shuffles. Think a junk pack reordered. It's fine, though. The whole U.S. economy is super bullish right now. Yeah, and it could crash, too, All right. But I remember telling him that I had a YouTube channel and, and honestly, he was just talking to me mostly about the fact that they were very pleased with how well I did with the first contract place. And he said they noted that they had tried to hire me away from them. And so he took me out to lunch for that. And yeah, and then eventually I get a call back, maybe like 2 weeks later. And he's like, I got a job for you. I got a new contract job for you. And I was like, I'm just going to do this YouTube thing. And I remember that call because I hung up and I almost felt sick about it because I was only making like $5 a day. I was like, I just turned down a very serious job offer to work on YouTube playing games like Dark Souls and Monster Hunter. This is like children's stuff. And I'm a bit of a conservative type. You guys know that. I'm a bit of a conservative. But again, there's just a feeling inside of me that I actually might succeed at this. And I knew this because of my childhood where I would get in trouble for talking too much. I would get in trouble for having too many opinions. And I thought somebody like that might do well on YouTube. Here's Beedrill. Here's Cinema Roll. Ooh, 2 Cinema Rolls. You've got the... Now I want to see what's in here. So this is from Merlin 1, and it's a nice thick pack. Let's see if there's any good ones. These are kind of valuable. You know, these are actually vintage, if you didn't know that. Magnetron. Oh, there you go. All right. Nothing too crazy, but there is a Vileplume with the actual logo in the front. That's cool. So these are vintage Merlin packs. You have to risk it for the biscuit. It was a huge risk, and I didn't tell Karis that I had turned down an offer. I didn't tell her that because I don't know. I guess it's because it was kind of scary. It's like, what if she found out that I'm this loser on a YouTube channel and I turned down a real job offer? And she's over there working her butt off, by the way. By the way, this does not look right. Monitoring the turtles. What am I looking at here? That's April, and there's 2 turtles, and this guy's watching. That's not right. There we go. Of course, they didn't think that way back then, but I don't think they'd make that card today. Stickler. Okay, so anyways, I turned that down and, you know, double my efforts on producing some sort of video that was a high enough quality that it could actually do well. And it was sort of like a make it or lose kind of situation. Like you had to, it was balls to the wall. You either make it or you go get a real job. And Karis kind of did express a little nervousness at some point, and I told her, "Don't worry, if I don't figure this out really soon, I'm just gonna go get a real job." There we are. She trusted me. To her credit, she never complained. She trusted me a lot. She had known me for a while at that point. We went to school together for the full 4 years, so she knew me a bit, and she knew I was a pragmatic type. Yeah, I've always been very practical, and yeah, it's crazy. When you look back on it, it's a very lucky thing that it worked out. I come for the cards. I stay for the conversations. A second generation Tiburon GTV6 87K. You're clearly a man of culture, B-Rad. The Tiburon is such a niche gem. It's a great looking automobile. I haven't driven one. Bought one Halo, $45. I hope I get something good. Oh, Mr. Jonas has gone a little bit deep here. All right, Jonas. So these are the vintage Halo cards. They're printed by the prestigious Topps company, and you have a chance for some really cool cards to pop out. Pretty soon, guys, I think I'm going to open a whole box of these for myself and send them out to grade because I want some Halo cards up here, already graded ones. All right. It's B-Rad. All right, what we got? Very nice. Ooh, we've got the Pelicant. Just put guns on the Pelican. Doesn't make any sense. Field Commander Elite. Okay. Ghost Jacked. Very nice. The Call of Battle. Tools of the Trade. Incoming. And the Structure. So, here are my thoughts on your pack, Mr. Jonas. You pulled some really nice common cards. You did not pull a chase card in this pack. That's pretty normal. They don't show up in every pack. But did you know you can grade every one of these, including this card right here, and they would actually be valuable that way. So unlike the Upper Deck cards, where I would not necessarily grade all those cards that come in the pack, when it comes to the Topps Halo cards, sure, you could definitely grade all these, and even 1 or 2 of these grading a 10 could probably just pay for that whole pack because they should sell for around $65 to $100, depending on which one. All right. You're clearly a man of culture. I already read that comment. Here we are. Field Commander. Okay. Here's the Pelican. Pelican's going to drop a tank off, but it doesn't have guns. It doesn't make any sense, guys. Let's go put this into your bag. All right. The Call of Battle looks good. I really like the Topps Halo cards. They're awesome. So, Jonas, as you know, those cards do not automatically ship to you. You know that? The way it works, if you ever want your cards, which you should, it costs $9 to ship them out. That's how it works for people within the United States. $9. Doesn't matter how much or how little you have. It's always $9 to get your card shipped to you in the United States. In the meantime, we store your cards over here. So your bag, for example, is right up here in the John box. There's your bag. So that's how it's done. So your bag's resting there, waiting for you to ship it out. You don't have to ship it today. You can ship it next week. You can ship it next month. You can ship it 11 months from now. You get 1 year. But don't leave it here for longer than a year, okay? If you want to do that, you would pay $5 to store it for 2 years, okay? So that's how it works. Awesome. I live international, so it's going to be a bit more expensive. Okay, so for international, most international shipments are typically they're $40 by the time you're ready to ship. Most of them will be about 40. And we can work together to keep your shipping costs down, your import duties down, because since you're opening the product, we'll try to claim it's a little cheaper, okay? And I think that's fair to do because it's not the same kind of product after you open it. Wouldn't you agree? So that's what we'll do when it's time to ship it out. We'll make a claim on the value of the raw cards, and since you're an international bag, you're allowed to keep your bag here as long as you want. You can keep it here for years. But there is one rule. You have to come back in and tell me that you want the address updated as you approach like a year old, okay? So we do that for international buyers. They can keep their stuff over here as long as they need to. Some people, they're trying to avoid that import fee, or, maybe you pull something cool and you just want to grade it while it's still over here, and then it goes out and it takes a couple months to come back. And then maybe you decide you want to sell it as well while it's still within the United States. You can have me do that for you as well. We can send it to, it's called a consignor. That's somebody who sells the card for you. So I can forward your cards to a consignor. He can sell them for you. So we do all that because, we're trying to provide a good service to international buyers. So we do that for, let's say you're living in France. You can open up $10,000 of one-piece cards, pull a couple mangas. I'll send them off to grade for you. When they come back, if you decide you don't want them anymore, I can get them sold for you too. So all that's possible. And in the meantime, you can store your cards here for no fee. You just have to come back and make sure you update update the date on the bag. All right, so now we've got Mr. Jonas says one more Halo. Ooh, okay. We actually get a pretty large amount of international buyers, I notice. And I think it's because of our odd stream hours. We tend to do this overnight stream here in the United States. Like for me right now, it's 5:27 a.m. in the morning. That's pretty late, right? All right, let's see what we got. This is pack number 2, and we should probably wrap up here, guys. We should wrap. Oh, actually, the phone's about to die. Let me plug it in. We should wrap up. My wrap-up time, I'm not supposed to really go past 5:30. Here it is. All right. I live in Scandinavia. Nice, dude. Here we are. All right. Scandinavia is cool. Here's looking down the barrel. My wife wants to go to Hungary because her grandfather was Hungarian. So she says that all the time. She wants to go to Hungary. And Master Chief's downtime. Here's, oh, you did well. Check it out. You actually pulled a holo in this pack. So it's hard to see it because it's so dark. But the road there and there, it's actually holographic. And if we flip it around, it's going to say collect all 10 foil cards. See? Number 5 out of 10. Oh, I don't know what this music is. So that's nice. You just pulled a holographic pull out of this set. And you can see he's on the ghost. Looking very cool. He's just looking back for a... hold on, let me skip this. God, I hate this. That song's awful. All right. Maybe putting on some better music here. So he's looking back for a selfie. And let's try putting this into a side loader real fast. See, these side loaders don't fit. Some of them do, and some of them don't. I don't understand it. They must be manufactured slightly different from each other. That one's pretty good, but let me try finding one that's just a bit looser. How about one of these ones with the orange tape on it? I feel like the orange tape ones are the ones I'm looking for. Yeah, they are. Look, they're just a bit larger. So weird. Okay. So there's that. And then we also have Amidst the Flood, very creepy, The Mysterious Halo, and Flood Combat Human. There you have it. Pickled fish roll-up. Yeah, give me a pickled fish. Okay, Mysterious Halo. But anyways, my wife, she enjoys those places in Europe that are not talked about as often. Like everyone talks about the UK, everyone talks about Germany and France. And Karis likes places like Eastern Europe, Central Europe, She likes those places a little bit better. Here's Looking Down the Barrel. All right, very nice. Is it okay to do one more Halo? Okay, we could do another one. You want to do one more? Sounds good. I can do it. What's another minute? All right, I'll get it ready for you. Yeah, that was a good pack that you opened there. The one with the hollow, that was a lucky pack. Oops. All right. All right. Mr. 7:30 p.m. here. Just sold a 2002 Mercedes-Benz with 59K original miles, all super clean. Best time buying cars was right before COVID. Yeah. Well, that was true for boats too, by the way. Look at this one, Mr. Master Chief's Downtime. That's a cool one. I like that. Boats shot up in price as a result of all the cheap money printing and the cheap money loans. So you had to pay extra for boats right after everyone got their stimulus check. Would you rather have Ancient Origins or Team Up Booster Box sealed? Oh, that's a good question. They're both pretty expensive. They both offer really cool cards. They are? All right. That's a good question. You could say Team Up has that more popular alt arts in it, like Gengar and Latios and Magikarp. However, Ancient Origins has Mega Rayquaza, it has Lugia, it has Primal Groudon, and it has that Gyarados in it that's really good. So, and those all sell for plenty. And so a direct comparison to them doesn't really help too much because they're both pretty good. I will say this, the Team Up box costs more money, which suggests maybe you're getting a better price on the Ancient Origins. Oh, you got a special pack here too. Okay. So this is going to be one of those lenticular packs. Here's Down But Never Out. Here's Hard Boiled. And then this. Oh, it's the Master Chief. How nice. I've got a shadow over me. Oh my God. You're nerding out on that music. Look at that. So this is a specialty card. You can grade this with PSA. However, it will not get a good grade, but that's all right. Everyone who has opened these packs knows that the lenticular cards never get a good grade. Like you can see the edge is all screwed up. And that's to be expected because the lenticular plastic, it just doesn't cut well. So that'll grade like 6 or 7 or something like that at PSA, but that's the normal grade. That's the standard good grade for that card. Yeah, if that got a 6 or 7, that would be a good grade because it implies it's fresh out of the pack. And you also don't have to grade it, or you could try grading it as authentic only. Like you don't bother giving it a number. You just give it the authentication. So those are all options with a card like that. And he's pretty cool. You got to send that into Tag or PSA. I don't know if Tag would grade that one because I think it would require a special holder. So I would recommend probably PSA on a card like that one. Of course, maybe Tag has special holders. I don't actually know. Here's On Point. Yeah, I have no clue. Okay, poor Chief, forever spitting in a card. Yeah, it's like he's been trapped. Down But Never Out, that's cool. Hard Boiled, that's neat. Nearing the Drop Zone, Cortana. There you have it. These are all very gradable. Any of these grading 10 would instantly be valuable. Of course, it's not always that easy to grade square cut cards as a 10. Sometimes they don't want to grade 10. This guy will never grade 10, but he is considered a hit card. They're like signature cards. They're like drawing sketch cards. They just don't grade 10. Unless it's that one that I just submitted. Did you guys see that short that Mike Side put out of the Star Wars card that graded 10? It was a sketch card. How crazy was that, man? What luck. All right, guys, that'll be the end of the stream. Let's send out one more spot. Boom, it's the Doghouse. Hey, that was the guy that was teasing us earlier, right? He was saying, they're all bullying me. All right, the Doghouse. The Doghouse. So we are up to 11 out of 20 on this list. We're going to hand out more spots tomorrow. So be there for the Saturday night stream, please. If you want to be notified by YouTube when I go live, smash that subscribe button. Besides, if you want to actually win this, I'm only going to hand it out if you're subscribed. All right, guys, I'm hopping off for the night. I'm going to go get some rest. And again, tomorrow, Saturday, we don't stream in the daytime, only the nighttime. So I'll be back for the nighttime stream for Saturday. See you later, everybody.